Dff Pat P.
Deep fat fried. 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 Deep fat fried.
Woo! Yes! Play that fucking yes!
Paul's a goblin.
Woo!
What have you guys done?
Goblin Paul.
cares?
Dun, 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 dun.
Who cares, TJ?
I don't know.
Play that intro song again with our mics hot. Play it again. Woo!
All right.
Hit it. Yes.
The video too?
Yeah, give me the whole fucking thing. Again. It's the best fucking intro to a podcast of all fucking time and forever. Nobody's ever had a cooler fucking it. Look at him. He turns into M. Bison. Yeah! Deep fat fried.
Deep fat fried.
Look at me. I have bitches all over me. It's fucking amazing. Yeah! And then I got that thing! Look at TJ! Doing what he normally does! Standing like a homeless person, smoking a cigarette!
Fried.
But it's not just a cigarette, is it, TJ?
No, dog. It's a banana. It's a dildo. It's an
Holy
axe.
shit! It's an axe and a dragon!
Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried.
You gotta be kidding me, there's a brain monster
Dff
in
Taff Peed, bitch.
Fat fried.
Dff Taff Peed. Bop, bop, banana.
That's the coolest fucking intro that ever happened in the history of intros.
I'm
In the
kind
history.
of sick of it. Let's change it.
Fuck you.
We need a new intro, Paul.
When you were sitting on a fucking goose
want a
that lays the golden egg,
Stick
TJ,
figure
you don't
intro,
change
dude.
it.
I want a stick figure intro.
You know what?
Drawn
I think,
by me.
Yeah, I think, Scotty, you should go home with some construction paper and make us a new intro, Scotty.
I can do it in like 10 minutes, dude. I don't even have to go home.
By the way, this isn't a shirt. This isn't a shirt logo. I just had some charcoal braised chicken before I came here and wiped my mouth on my shirt before we started.
How long did you take to come up with that, Paul?
Just came up with it right now.
I
TJ.
don't believe
I
so.
saw it on the screen.
I
and
don't
was like,
think so,
wow,
Paul.
My face is basically on
No,
my face.
no, you fucking practiced that one all
No.
night, Paul.
Despite
No,
the
TJ.
All
fact
night long.
No, TJ.
That shit was written.
TJ,
The shit was
That's-
written.
I think that was Ritz too, Paul.
That was
That's Ritz.
written.
if the both of you are going to impugn my virtuosity on the mic, then I may as well just walk out of here, take both of my faces,
Yeah.
and go through
You
the
know what?
door of Chauncey.
You just leave the shirt. That's company property.
You're not even going to let me. You're
No,
going to make me
dude.
change out of the shirt now?
Give me that shirt now, Paul.
Yeah, you gotta
You
take
gonna
that
walk,
shirt
Paul?
off if you're gonna
You gonna
walk.
walk, dude? Give us the fucking shirt then, Paul.
We don't care if you
Give us
walk
the shirt
as
off
long
your
as the
fucking
shirt
back.
stays. Because you know what? That shirt could do your fucking job. It already looks like you.
Ouch, TJ.
Wow.
After
Yeah.
I rocked out to our fucking
Now
intro,
you know
that
where
hard.
we. Yeah, well, you know where we stand now, don't you? Don't you, Paul?
Yeah, I guess I do.
We'll literally take the shirt
I guess
off
I
your
do.
fucking back, buddy.
I guess you will.
Let's get the shirt off you. Ugh. It's too hard.
It's clinging
It won't-
a
it
little
won't
bit.
come-
I'm
it won't-
sweaty.
Oh, don't. Never mind. Take it with
Yeah,
you.
man.
I'm
that's
sweaty.
Let me oh yeah, dude. We don't want.
How
that
bad
shit.
is he?
I'm actually not that bad. I showered right before.
No,
I
dude.
came over.
Paul's actually a
Yeah,
compulsive
Paul.
shower.
Yeah,
I
he's
do.
like he.
I'll
makes,
give Paul that. If
Paul
anything.
makes sure that no offensive
I
odor
sit
emanates
next
from
to-
his being.
Like I sit next to Paul, and I'll tell
Let's
you
see
what.
let's see if mine are bad.
Sit next to TJ is worse, dude.
TJ's pits are horrible right
Oh,
now. I guarantee.
dude.
Come here, Scotty.
Oh, gross!
Oh,
Don't do
God.
it.
Come here. Put your face in there, Scotty.
Hell to the no.
I just can't fucking.
Never, dude. Never.
Oh my god.
I knew, dude. It smells like vinegar in there, huh?
That close. Oh,
It smells like boiled eggs and
dude, I'll tell you
vinegar.
the nastiest fucking thing I ever smelled. Me and TJ had a fucking bet. He's like, dude, for $20, just smelling my fucking shoe. And I was like, oh, she just fear fucking gross, dude. But it's like $20 right here. It was in my hand. I'm like, give me the money first. Like, here you go. Here's the $20 fucking dollars. I have it in my fucking hand. I'm like, how fucking bad could it really be just to go for $20?
Right.
I would have given him the money fucking back, dude. It was like if you know what smelling salts smell like
Yeah.
I got fucked with one time when I was a kid. It was like just smelling salt. It's like, dude,
Right.
it
It's
was
like being
that.
kicked in the face.
I've
yeah.
only had that sensation twice. Once when Steve fucked with me and I smelled the smelling salts, and TJ's shoe. I do not know what the fuck is wrong with TJ's teenage fucking feet, but I can't imagine the bacteria that lived on those fucking things, dude.
Dude, they get sour too. Like if you sweat into your shoes and shit, and you don't got some Dr. Scholl's or whatever to throw in there, some of them charcoal pads.
Well,
it
you
gets
got to
nasty.
have that, dude. That's one thing I've realized, man. You need the Dr. Scholl.
That happened to me when I came to visit you guys in Ohio. Oh, because my shoes got all wet, and then they were all moldy and smelly and shit.
yeah.
So I had TJ take me to the store so I could buy some fucking spray shit.
Yeah. I don't remember that, but it sounds
You
true.
gave me a ride to the store so I could buy foot stink be gone because my shoes were horrible.
Foot stink, big on.
And then you guys
Goddamn snow.
And then you guys frolicked on a picnic.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful, wonderful day.
Can we just do banter for this show and not cover this fucking topic?
banter.
TJ?
Yeah, you know, I want to point something out to people. So we've done shows on Carrot Top.
Uh-huh.
We've
Marilyn
done shows
Manson.
on toilets. No, I'm talking about just the shows about topics that are like
Singular topic.
wretched or, you know, kind of down. You know, like Tim Allen was our first show.
Uh-huh.
But,
But
I mean,
Paul-
look, Tim Allen deserves that. You know what I mean?
But Paul feels like Ben Shapiro is like beneath our show.
I really
basically.
do. I think that he doesn't belong in the room with any singular topic that we've covered on this show.
maybe toilets.
Nope. Nope. Toilets are. I
mean,
toilets
we're
are
probably
useful.
at some point going to do a show on literal shit.
And
Like,
I would
that's
still,
almost certainly going to happen.
I would still.
And
put-
yet we still kind of all. I mean, I feel too like like if this wasn't like a special fan requested episode,
Yeah.
for like a promotion,
Yep.
there's no fucking way
Right.
that I
Because,
would have
like,
ever done a show on Ben Shapiro.
I fucking hate Rob Schneider, but I would never demean Rob Schneider to put him in the same room with Ben Shapiro.
Earlier, you were even like, he don't even belong in the same room as Jeffrey Dahmer.
No. No.
Unless
No.
Jeffrey's gonna eat him, maybe. No, you wouldn't want
I wouldn't.
Jeffrey's tummy
He'd
to
get
get
indigestion.
upset.
Yeah.
Dude, he'd be fucking tough, too.
Poor Jeffrey's tum-tum would have a
Yeah.
hard time
You wanna
digesting this buzzard meat.
This fucking rotten fucking goddamn Ben Shapiro, dude. There's no way, dude.
So you want me to just get right into it? I can get right into it.
Dive balls first, TJ.
So Paul, just what's your commentary on this image, Paul?
Yeah, he's the least intimidating man on the planet. He's wearing a yarmulke. It looks like his neck is about the width of a pencil. He's really trying to pull off, like TJ said earlier, like a Damien from The Omen, but kind of grown up. And he pulls that off, except for the kind of grown up. He looks like he's about 14 years old.
How big is Ben Shapiro?
Yeah, what's
Not
his,
big.
What's his size?
5'8"?
I don't know his height.
5'5"?
I don't know his height.
He looks like a little shrimp, dude.
I don't know his height.
He's a little pencil neck, like fucking shrimp.
Hello.
Hey, ho, ho. My
He's here
name
to
is
own
Ben
the
Shapiro.
libs. Is he going to own? Because we're all libs, right? And he's about owning the libs.
Yeah, we're going to be owned tonight. Don't
Shit.
you worry.
Prepare for fucking getting
Fret
butt
not.
raped.
You about to
lip
get...
cucks.
Here, I'll look up his height since you guys are so curious about it.
Yeah, I want to know.
Ben
Weighing in.
Shapiro
And
height.
is soaking wet, 145 pounds.
5'7".
Standing, an imposing 5'7" tall. Ben, the destroyer of snowflakes. Shapiro.
Oh, I thought you were going to say my mom.
Oh, your
That
mom?
height.
Whoa.
Sorry. I don't mean to short shame. I know there's some shorties in our audience. It's okay.
Sorry, shorties.
But at least
No,
you're
I'm
not
not
short and Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, I'm
you know
not-
what I mean?
It's just the fact.
That's a horrible combo.
It's no, I don't care if someone's short. I don't give a fuck about that at all. It's the fact that he acts like he has this tough guy.
Let's stop acting like we respect short people just to keep the short audience on our side. Short people are bullshit. Fuck them. Tall man master race.
One of my favorite fans of our show is short.
Oh, you talk about
Peter.
Okay, well, you know what? Oh shit, I promised him I'd do an episode on little people too, and it would be respectful.
I have his phone number.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
he and I text.
we got to
sometimes.
do that because I
Yeah,
told him
Peter.
I'd do it. But you know what? He's the level of short where it's cool again.
Okay.
If you're gonna go short, go full on short
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
be a midget, dude.
I agree, man.
Yeah. I kind of agree. Because,
You know,
like,
none of this
Vern
middle
Troyer was
ground.
cooler than him.
Yeah, none of this middle ground 5'8" bullshit.
Right.
5'7". Fuck that. Grow some fucking legs, bitch.
The girl's height. 5'6" is a girl's height.
Yeah, go join the fucking girls
You know what, dude?
volleyball team.
And I had a
or
great
whatever the
moment
fuck.
with that fucking dude, Peter. Man, I fucking picked him up, and you know what? Usually you get in trouble for that, but I just did it.
I don't know if I'd
I
brag about
patted
that.
him on the head, and I felt awful about
That
it.
was... Yeah, you didn't...
That's
That
worse,
wasn't
dude.
even...
Dude,
That's worse.
I was so excited to see him again. I didn't know he was going to be there, you know? At the
You might as well have been like, give me your fucking Lucky Charms, bitch.
It was so sad. Like, I was shaking hands. I was shaking hands with all these neck beards as they come in. Right now, I fucked up my fucking shit here. See? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, so I'm shaking hands with all these neck beards that are coming in, and I didn't even know Peter was gonna be there. And then all of a sudden I saw him, and I was overcome with all this joy and shit. And I was like, oh, and I just reached out and I patted him on, and then I was just like, oh. That was a terrible move.
Fail.
Terrible move, Paul.
I like how that's somehow worse than me picking him up. I really do.
I think you want it to be worse.
Yeah.
No, I really think it is.
You picked him up, dude,
Dude,
and
I
he even
fucking
told you no.
I don't think he told me that.
Yeah, he did.
He did?
Yeah, you had Taylor ask, can Scotty pick you up? And he was like, no. And then you went, fuck that! And you grabbed him and picked him up. I was standing right there.
You're fucking terrible.
I don't recall that at all, dude. I don't
You
recall
plead the
that.
fifth on that.
I don't
on
recall
what
that
happened
at all,
night.
dude.
Hey, look, if you come to one of our shows, you're looking for some chaos to go down.
You sound like Alex Jones at his deposition. I don't recall.
Oh, it was a
I
sheriff.
don't recall.
It's Paul. I suffer from psychosis.
I don't know.
Anyway, I guess we got to talk about this thing.
All right.
So tonight I'm going to be using he, him pronouns for Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
That's inappropriate because he should be referred to as it.
I'm glad they're clarifying my pronouns.
But
now,
for
TJ.
the sake of ease, we will talk to him as though he were a human being. So
I won't. I
Okay.
refuse. I'm not an SJW. I'm not going to pronoun him properly.
I was just doing it for convenience, but...
it. I say we go with it.
So, Benjamin Bleeding Anal Fisher Shapiro was created in a laboratory on January 15th, 1984, in a failed attempt to create the world's most realistic pocket vagina. Though he is indisputably a vagina, he doesn't quite fit in the average pocket, thus why he was considered a failure. Originally, his creators were going to throw him in an incinerator, but when it was discovered that he was quasi-sentient, they instead decided to train him to be a conservative commentator. Ben Shapiro has written 10 books, including his 2004 New York Times bestseller, Diarrhea-Spewing Prolapse Donkey Butt, an autobiography. Despite being completely unlikable and wrong about literally everything, he became the youngest nationally syndicated columnist in the United States at the age of 17, and currently serves as editor-in-chief for the Daily Wire, which he founded. He also hosts The Ben Shapiro Show, a daily political podcast and radio show funded primarily by contributions from the feminine hygiene product industry. Ben Shapiro identifies as Jewish, though this is disputed by God himself, who said in a recent interview, "I had nothing to do with that guy." Despite having no soul, Shapiro was still able to make a bargain with the devil for some violin talent. Now we're actually going to go watch Ben Shapiro play the violin. Check it out. This is him doing a cover of the Game of Thrones theme.
Yeah, dude.
Get out of here.
This is badass, dude. Look at this.
Dun 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 dun. Ben Shapiro, Ben Shapiro. Do do violin. What? Take that, CNN! Whoa! So cool. What do you think, guys?
You can't even drape a fucking old wolf cloak over his shoulders and make him look like a man.
No.
You can't.
He's like the least manly man that's
He looks
ever
like
lived.
he looks like he reached the age of 12 and then ceased to age. He looks like the perpetual 12-year-old. He's like Benjamin Button, but trapped in one spot.
Normally, a guy with a fucking like woolen cloak, you know what I mean, and a fucking playing a
Yeah.
badass violin, you'd be like, damn, that's kind of fucking cool.
Yeah.
With him, he's just like he looks like a doofus. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't.
because you know what? You know what it is? He relies so heavily on the fact that he's got these two caterpillars above his eyes, right? So he tilts his head down and he does the, I'm
Hey, he's using the
smoldering
eyebrows, dude.
thing, but it's not enough, man.
But you know what? You gotta at least
He can
gotta
play the violin.
Yeah, you gotta say he can play the violin. And
He
you also
can-
gotta
he
say
definitely can.
he brought himself up from nothing, guys.
He started from the
Fucking
bottom.
nothing, dude.
Started on the bottom. Look, his parents. Well, obviously he had no real parents, but his adopted parents.
The people that took the weird,
the people who
failed
took the weird, failed
By the
pocket-
way, can you before you move on?
Yeah.
Can you give me the name of his autobiography one more time?
Yes, his autobiography from 2004 is "Diarrhea Spewing Prolapse Donkey Butt," an autobiography.
I see.
That was written in
Thank
2004.
you. Thank you. I'm sorry. I want to look it up.
Yeah, but
later.
look, he really had humble beginnings. His father was a humble TV executive, and his mother. I don't know which. Actually, I don't know which one's which, but
Who cares?
One of them was a TV executive, and
Uh-huh.
the other was a composer for films.
So just like everybody's kind of upbringing.
I love how in his thing he's first of all he's doing Game of Thrones, but and his family is he's born in Hollywood. His family was made in the industry. The industry to some extent has manufactured him, and yet there's this big sign of like Hollywood on fire, like, oh, I'm against Hollywood. No, you're not.
It's a product.
You're
of it.
Hollywood to the fucking core,
Yeah,
bitch.
Hollywood shat your little fucking diminutive ass out. You're literally a child of Hollywood. Both of your parents were film industry people, and you're trying to be the anti-Hollywood crusader.
Doesn't make sense. And, he shits on California all the time, despite the fact not only was he born there, he lives there to this day. He started his business there, despite it being this like anti-business,
Right.
socialist nightmare.
Well, he shouldn't. You do as I say, not as I do. Right. You
Right.
shouldn't start a business in California, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, what is the logic behind that? This is the worst state to do business. Yet my family.
Yet I
was
do
trans-
business here, and I started my company here, and
Yeah.
I work here and live here.
And my family was actually prosperous because of the state of California, and that exists.
And yet
industry
this guy,
existing.
every chance he gets, will shit on California.
Oh, it's horrible.
Despite the fact that he chooses. I mean, he has enough money; he can live any fucking where.
Yeah.
He can live anywhere in this fucking country.
do his show
He's
anywhere.
rich.
Oh, dude, if he's living like a rich dude in California, if he really was a true believer, he could move to Mississippi and live like a fucking king.
He could basically become the Jew god king of Mississippi.
He could come to Mississippi and buy a giant old fucking plantation house on the with a plantation to go with it,
and
and live like a fucking
Oh
king.
yeah, easily. So another thing he did, one of the first things that kind of got him in the public consciousness. Obviously, I mean, like I said, he was a syndicated columnist at a very young age. I think like one of the youngest ever, or the youngest ever, or something like that, at the age of 17.
That I gotta give him credit where it's due. That's pretty impressive. To be a syndicated columnist anywhere at 17 is impressive. I don't care what the
Yeah.
fucking.
It was it was some good publications too. So it wasn't like
Right. He wasn't just like dog shit.
he
you know.
he wasn't but he was
Which ones?
I think it was Newsweek and something else.
Okay.
I don't have it written here, but if I remember correctly, it was like Newsweek.
Cool.
And some other one. But I mean, like he skipped some grades. He did very well academically in school. Obviously,
A prodigy kid.
yeah, and he's a violin prodigy. He's a writing prodigy. Whatever the fuck else. But despite all that, I still can't escape the idea that this man is a fucking idiot. And I'm going to show you what I mean.
Okay, all right.
We'll see throughout the
right.
course of this episode what I'm talking about. Either that or he's just
Playing
to idiots.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you look at him on paper, it's like it's hard to argue he's had a pretty exceptional life.
Well, nobody's gonna say that this dude is not smart on paper. If you skip grades and you're a violin prodigy and you're employed with Newsweek and a bunch of other places at 17, you're a smart person. You're socially mobile. Now, I'm not saying that like mom and daddy's money probably didn't help that along.
Oh my God, yes.
It definitely did.
It
But
probably did.
you can't take
he was
it away
born
from him.
Connected.
There's
so.
a lot of 17-year-old sons and daughters of fucking rich people who couldn't write a fucking thing for Newsweek,
Fuck
right?
no.
Probably couldn't even.
Probably couldn't write a fucking second grade essay.
You probably couldn't write their name on a fucking document. So anyway, one of the things that got him really in the spotlight was he got in a confrontation with this transgender
I remember
reporter.
this, where she grabbed him, huh?
Yep. It gets really heated, and he ends up getting his neck scruff grabbed and issued a threat.
Yeah.
Good try.
They're talking
have
about
to
Caitlyn
bifurcate it.
Jenner's
Does she deserve
Courage
the
Award.
honor?
Does she
Probably not.
deserve it?
Is she brave? Of course she's brave. All those years invested
play the
as-
video,
as
TJ?
this sports legend.
Yes.
To come
Sorry.
out
There we go.
transgender is horribly difficult. It is the most difficult
Oh,
thing
and this is on our buddy Dr. Drew's show, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we
been
like him.
overseas. I've flown helicopter missions, surveillance missions. I've been shot, stabbed. Being brave is being yourself, and being transgender is about the bravest thing you can do. Did she deserve the award? Yes.
Why are we mainstreaming delusion?
It's not delusion.
Why would you call it delusion?
Because Bruce Caitlyn Jenner, I'll call him Caitlyn Jenner.
No,
because
it's
that's
her.
I mean, like, there's going to be... I mean, you've invited Ben Shapiro on. I don't understand this idea of, like, bringing on conservatives on a show.
And then being
And then when they
shocked
say
they're
conservative stuff,
yeah.
like, what?
Oh, well, they want that drama. I mean,
Will I never?
they're clearly playing this up. I mean, they wouldn't bring him on the show. He's the foil,
How could you say that? How could you possibly say that?
It wasn't like they brought him on this episode not knowing his opinion.
You're not being polite to the pronouns.
Because
disrespectful.
Okay, forget
You
about
invited
the
him on the
disrespect.
show.
Facts don't care about your feelings. It turns out that every chromosome.
Facts don't care about your feelings,
that's
That's like his tagline now, yeah.
Yeah, it became a
Ba-doom! I wonder if he was already a tagline or if it just did so well in this that
Yeah.
he's just like, you know what? That's my thing.
I'm
He
sure
just couldn't help but keep owning the libs with it.
This probably wasn't the first appearance of it. He probably, I mean, like, obviously he kind of worked this out. I mean, I'm sure that, but when this happened, this was like when he, like, I remember this the moment I first saw Ben Shapiro. I'm like, who the fuck is everyone's like, Ben Shapiro destroyed this transgender idiot.
Every cell in Caitlyn Jenner's body is male, with the exception of some of his sperm cells. It turns out that
We have
his
a
brain
doctor
structure
here.
is male.
Wait, I need
It turns out that he still has all of his male appendages. How he feels on the inside is irrelevant to the question of his biological sex.
I don't agree with that. I'm not on that train. I'm not on that train.
All right.
the
Well,
black guy's like, listen up.
let me
Oh,
wave.
look,
Hold on. Let me just put up my virtue flag right now and wave it. I am not with him. 100%, 10%, or whatever. I don't even know what he's talking about over there.
I'm assuming that this
I'd be
guy
doing the same shit.
I'm
honestly.
assuming this guy here is also against her getting the award, but
Probably.
but is like, I ain't going that far with it.
Yeah, no,
No, I'm not willing
uh-uh.
to go down that road.
No, sir.
I am.
I'm going to call her she. I just have a problem with the message and the messenger.
So well, let's. I'm going to do two things. I want to reiterate what Zoe said, which is the bifurcation.
This fucking. I hate this vampire piece
oh,
of shit.
God.
I hate
yeah.
all these motherfuckers on this show.
Fucking
I don't have an ounce of
Nosferatu.
respect for anybody on this fucking show. There's not a fucking person worth listening to sitting in this room, and it's a TV show.
You would be a fool if you did. They're like, look, these people are all just a bunch of fucking empty fucking suits, in my opinion.
Demagogues.
Yeah, like fuck these people.
Forward after a lifetime as a male and a certain kind of a male, versus did she deserve this
Certain
award?
kind of a male?
Listen,
What?
Awards,
Whatever.
awards.
What does that mean?
Dude, to watch this type of bullshit, you have to just allow them to float presuppositions by you without any question. Like, what is that? Yeah, exactly. What kind of a male are we talking about? I didn't realize that there were kinds of males out there.
Mental gymnastics, dude.
You're
Like,
talking
so
about
believe
soldiers? All kinds of males have taken up that mantle over the fucking history of mankind. You better believe that.
So, yeah, it's like ESPN. Well done, ABC. They did exactly what their job was: to attract eyes. They did it. That's what award ceremonies are for. But in terms of the science behind gender dysphoria, you're very familiar with that, Zoe.
Very familiar.
It's not about the chromosome. Excuse me, the chromosomes within
We
our.
both know.
Sorry, I just choked on a little bit of the devil's semen right there.
Yes, Lord Satan.
Oh, thank you for making me famous despite my lack of talent.
Do you think Satan's right off camera and just like force choked him for a second?
You're male or female.
Gender.
with gender.
Gender
of course.
identity. Go ahead. No, so
Especially, but even so, you have a thing like Klinefelter's syndrome. So you don't know what you're talking.
I don't know if this is offensive to say, but this chick, this former man,
Don't even do it, TJ.
used to be. I mean, like even on the treatment and stuff,
Don't even
is
do it.
still more masculine than Ben Shapiro is. So
Yeah, I agree.
You're right.
I totally agree.
Which is why she's about to manhandle him.
yes.
woman handle him.
Oh, sorry.
Come on.
Genetics.
well, no,
What
no.
are your genetics say?
So let's stay away from the genetics and back to the brain
He's
scans.
touching
You
her.
cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Boom!
You cut that out. Damn.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home. And the voice got real, like all the woman just drained right
So
out
wait
of
a minute
that.
now. Everybody here has been shocked by him using the wrong pronouns to a trans person, but they're all going to be behind her scruff of the necking him, right?
Yep. Yes, of course.
Because actually reaching out and grabbing somebody by the fucking... See, this is the shit. Like, if you manage to make yourself look worse than Ben Shapiro...
You have to try really
Man,
fucking hard,
you're
dude.
feeding at the fucking bottom trough, man. Holy shit.
And, also it kind of makes his point look more valid when
I know.
she goes out and does something that's like so masculine, like,
I'm gonna breach your...
I'll break you, Ben Shapiro!
You're wrong.
I am a delicate woman!
Listen, bitch! TJ almost killed himself with that one, dude. Doesn't do it.
TJ's fucking doing a terrible job. Terrible job, TJ.
He's dying.
let me die in peace.
He's dying.
Let me die in peace.
So what
Ripping
happens from
pepperonis,
there?
TJ.
Let's see.
When I die of cancer, that's going to be like one of those clips that people show, like, we all knew it was coming when stuff like that just happened all the time.
You're gonna be leaving in a stretcher. What was that creepiness?
So that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
No, I know. Well, but wait, to be fair, but to be fair,
But to be fair, she can
Oh my
grab
God.
anybody
Yeah,
she
but-
wants by the... No, shut up.
No,
There's
fuck
no...
her.
Hold on, you know what, though, dude? Ben Shapiro, this is just another masterclass in Ben Shapiro
I know.
tactics right here. Push someone to the edge, make them lose their cool, and then when they do, be like, we're just trying to have a civil conversation
I
right
was
here.
just offering you some tea and a biscuit.
I'm your friend. What are you?
I'm your buddy. I
We're
just
having
came.
a
I
political
just
discussion.
came over to ask for a cup of sugar if I could borrow it. Sorry, neighbor. Never mind the fact that I was just,
Hey, guys.
No,
And
that's not fair.
I'm sorry, it's not rude to say that someone who is biologically
called
a
me a
male
sir.
is a male.
You just
Someone
called
who
me
is
a sir.
biologically male is a male.
But Mr. Shapiro, you knew very well that saying that to Zoe would be egregiously
Inflammatory.
insulting.
It's not a male.
and when has been
Don't bring
egregiously...
Ben Shapiro
Yeah.
on the show then.
Yeah, it
Not
might
only
be
that, but what does egregious insult have to do with whether or not you can go haul off and grab somebody? Dipshit. If that dude, I'm sorry, if that woman wasn't wearing a dress and instead was wearing a suit and tie, would you still be on the fucking same?
no.
No. See, it's just bullshit, man. I hate it when people look worse than somebody I hate and make me fucking empathize with them by default.
Well, that's one
Who
part
is
of
this Mario Van Peebles looking Saved by the Bell reject looking motherfucker?
Ben
Who
Sh-
is he?
Ben Shapiro later filed a police report about that neck grab.
I don't know if I agree with
Oh,
that
I mean,
either.
that's
Which is
that's
total
more drama.
bullshit.
That's a little bit of a
Yeah,
blubbering vagina maneuver.
he literally filed a police report and said he was assaulted.
The problem with this here, though, is excusing violence in any context. If Ben Shapiro had grabbed her and said, "Listen, buddy, you're gonna have to listen to my opinion now," no one would just
Yeah.
go, "Oh, that's okay," because he was very
No,
insulted. by
this
what she
dude right
said.
here would have jumped out of his chair and monkey beat
Yes.
fucking Shapiro into the ground.
You tough guy, bitch!
Along with every other dude in that place. fucking Drew probably would have been stomping. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such a... I hate this stupid bullshit,
Yeah,
man.
let's not excuse violence or bad decisions.
There's never an excuse for that type of shit. Even, and this is the perfect example of that, because you would like to say that if there's one man on the planet that deserves to be beaten around and slapped around and cuffed upside
shut
the
up,
ear,
buddy. Yeah.
it's Ben Shapiro. But I can't take that stance. I can't.
So
do it.
in 2015, Ben Shapiro founded the Daily Wire, According to Snopes, the Daily Wire has a tendency to share stories that are taken out of context or not verified.
No.
Now, Snopes, of course, has been under attack by right-wingers for saying that they do the same thing. Basically.
Also,
Snopes bad.
Also, anti-vaxxers.
So, among the falsehoods published on the Daily Wire include protesters digging up Confederate graves. That was reported on there. That didn't happen.
Never happened.
Democratic.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yes, digging up Confederate graves. Yeah.
Like what? What kind of protest even is that?
It was when all the Confederate monument bullshit was going down. They were
What
saying that protesters were digging up and desecrating the graves of Confederate
Are you
soldiers.
telling me
basically.
a conservative news source was reporting fake news?
Yeah.
No.
Did they offer a retraction?
No.
No.
Well, at least not that I know of. Democratic congresspeople refusing to stand for a fallen Navy SEAL's widow. Another false story.
Lied again.
Harvard University holding segregated commencement ceremonies.
Lied.
Apparently another false story.
So he's one of these fucking just agitators then.
Now, and like I said, this is all Snopes, so if Snopes got it wrong, go take it up with them. I can't research endlessly every aspect of a show that has to come out twice a week.
Right.
Factcheck.org also has fact-checked the Daily Wire. They said the Daily Wire was the source of a false story which credited Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson with finding over $500 billion in accounting errors made by the Obama administration. Factcheck.org found that the errors were discovered and published by HUD's independent inspector general before Carson became secretary. So basically, they were caught trying to make Ben Carson look good by saying that he found all this waste and stuff. He didn't actually do it. It was actually found before he even took the position. The Daily Wire did publish an update to the story reflecting similar criticisms from Snopes, I guess. I don't know what that sentence even means, but the Daily Wire has published a number of articles doubting that climate change is occurring and that humans contribute to climate change, so it's a climate change denial rag. Climate scientists have described the articles as being inaccurate and misleading. Okay. So yeah, it's the exact newspaper you would imagine would be run by Ben Shapiro, basically.
Right.
And look, if you look here, it says Hollywood, feminism, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. Is that? I guess those are like the trending topics on his website.
Yes. So like we could go click on Hollywood, for instance, and see all the Hollywood stories. Meghan McCain slams Lori Loughlin as the face of white privilege after party bus court appearance.
Oh, so it's a clickbait rag, too.
Charlize Theron is shockingly available, begs men to grow a pair and step up.
Dude, it's a fucking clickbait site. It's got a bunch of fucking gossip shit on it.
Yeah,
What the
watch
fuck is
first
this?
Joker trailer release. Response online suggests GC's gamble paid off. Veteran actress Helen Mirren at CinemaCon. Fuck Netflix.
Wow.
So
just one of these gossip and celebrity news and popular culture kind of rags.
Yeah, well, this is the Hollywood section, so we can look at like feminism.
Feminism has its own tab over here?
Yep.
Damn.
Woke band Green Day is writing a handbook for feminists. Feminists are not having it. Yeah, why should they? Why would you, if you were a feminist, why would you be like, I need Green Day to dictate my feminism?
I don't know, man, because they probably know a lot about bitches.
Alyssa Milano posts lengthy defense of Joe Biden, gets slammed by feminist allies, quote unquote.
Oh, that sounds saucy.
Go away, Hillary. I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it's real. Introducing RBG beer from Samuel Adams.
So Ruth Bader Ginsburg ale?
Yeah, I guess.
Cool.
I don't think I'd want to drink that, though.
Why is that a bad thing?
Is that the dark liquid from the crazy sarcophagus or whatever the fuck it was?
Yeah, dude, the red liquid from the dark sarcophagus.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine is in that bottle.
Mummy juice.
Yeah. But, there's no point in really trying to like go over Ben Shapiro's life and accomplishments and all that nonsense. I mean, I basically set up the stuff that we've told you now, the stuff you need to know, where he was born, how he got his start, what he's done. He was editor of Breitbart for a while. Now he's the Daily Wire editor-in-chief and founder. And you see what it is. I mean,
it's like a slightly conservative tinted gossip rag, basically.
Right. Yeah. That's basically it. And he's got his show, and it gets good ratings, and he's got a lot of YouTube stuff. And
I like
people
that
like
"shut
it.
your butthole" sign.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool sign.
I'd hold that up at a protest somewhere. Because it applies to everybody around me too, not just Trump.
Dude, click on the CNN section, TJ. I want to see that.
The CNN section.
CNN has its own shit.
Tone deaf. White House Correspondents Association gushes. CNN's coverage of Kavanaugh hearings like a symphony. Watch. Former CBS correspondent Lara Logan rips CNN host. Are these opinion shows or are these news programs?
Oh, so this is why they were cutting the logo in half in that Game of Thrones thing. So they're like the big...
Yeah, they're like the we are against CNN.
Yeah, the David versus the CNN Goliath. Is that what they're trying to be?
CNN reporter gets snide while asking independent voters about Trump.
Wow, dude, there's a whole story about a CNN reporter getting snide on your website, Ben Shapiro.
CNN, so evil.
Holy
he
shit,
was
man.
snide.
Thanks for bringing what people need to know to the forefront, man. Dude, I can't believe that a CNN reporter was snide on the fucking show, dude.
I know. It's like, what?
A snide reporter?
This is worthy of multiple paragraphs of content.
Look at this
right?
bullshit. And of course, all of it sprinkled with horrifying ads for crap you don't want.
What?
Yeah, you can get a Embark screen for over 170 genetic diseases.
Yeah, yay.
70?
Extend your dog's lifespan with that
doggy
shit.
DNA test there.
You could get a...
What's in the recommended?
Louisiana government
what's
will
this?
pay $260 a month off your mortgage.
Yeah, all right, dude.
These
Cool.
are all sponsored ones on their website?
It doesn't say sponsored. It says recommended for you, but these are pretty clearly ads.
Oh, shit.
Well, they
yeah.
do say sponsored underneath.
One
What kind of
thing-
ads, though?
Dude,
Underwear?
we might need to know this, guys. One thing all cheaters have in common: brace yourself.
Brace yourself.
Dun, 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 dun,
The 7
dun,
reasons
dun,
why
dun,
this
dun.
underwear is so revolutionary.
Oh, shit.
Revolutionary underwear going
So
on.
there's a lot of people that maybe they got swampy balls.
Wow, they got a lot of sponsors.
Look at the Daily Wire.
I guess it goes beyond sponsors down there. Let's see. I can pay no interest.
How do you know the difference anymore? You've scrolled down half the page on the Daily Wire and you're
Well, 'cause
lost
there's
in this
no-
dystopian ad fucking apocalypse.
It's because these all say
dude,
sponsored.
You know what's
Yeah.
You know what's fuck? Yeah, they have that, but it blends in with the site pretty well.
Yeah, it's made to look like it's part of the Daily Wire.
Yeah.
So as you scroll down through what is the Daily Wire, you're going to run into these stories that if
and
you
then it
don't
goes
read
back. It's like it's a bunch of sponsored ones and then some that aren't sponsored,
just a
and then a
big-
bunch more sponsored ones.
just a big hideous ad trap.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, what a great fucking grand thing you've accomplished with your fucking genius level intellect, Ben. A fucking nightmare of a website where you can barely tell what's like not even a news story. Like even if it is a news story, like the last one we clicked on to get us here was
And then you got to scroll through all that to get to the comments too.
yeah, I bet that's
CNN. Just be honest and change name to DNN already. You aren't fooling anyone. The last vestiges of your journalistic integrity were blown to bits by the Mueller report.
wow. And look at the stroke sesh going on
The
down
show
here.
probably had less viewers than it did panelists.
So are these people that have actually made accounts on this ad-ridden fucking nightmare of a website?
Probably.
Holy shit. Can you imagine? Scroll down a few more rolls, TJ.
You want to see what the bottom of the barrel is?
I just want you to imagine being one of these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
One of these dudes that is wearing out his pointer finger, scrolling down to this fucking thing, trying to be somebody, and being the bottom of the barrel on Ben Shapiro's ad target website.
And then there's more ads underneath.
Of course. That kind of look like the same type of thing as above. So once again, just trying to
Dude,
get
how
people to
fucking
click
long
on
is
shit
this
that has nothing to do.
page?
We're at the bottom finally.
It's just absurd, man.
Oh, should you look, dude? We can advertise with them.
Cool.
Go to the
The
bottom.
website is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I want to advertise with Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
Deep Fat Fried Podcast, man.
Sick.
Yeah, well, we should do
Oh wait, would that entitle us to getting our fucking name down here at the bottom of the page? It takes you 20 minutes to get to.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we could have it. I'll save it for later. Let's see if we can get some deep fat fried ads
Oh, yeah,
over
let's put
on
some
Ben
fried
Shapiro.
ads.
We need to fucking give Ben Shapiro more money, dude.
Yeah, let's enrich Ben Shapiro
I feel like he needs more.
like this transgender woman did.
Let's take a look at this article that Ben wrote back in 2002.
Fuck this Embark shit, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. They're really trying to get me to buy this Embark. Enemy civilian casualties okay by me.
Why not?
This is from July 25th, 2002. So this is quite a while ago. I believe he has disavowed this at this point, but Still, it's part of the evolution of Ben Shapiro. I'm getting really sick of people who whine about civilian casualties. Maybe I'm a hard-hearted guy, but when I see in the newspapers that civilians in Afghanistan or the West Bank were killed by American or Israeli troops, I don't really care. In fact, I would rather that the good guys use the Air Force to kill the bad guys, even if that means some civilians get killed along the way.
What?
One American soldier is worth far more than an Afghan civilian. For the past decade, the United States and Israel have been attempting to prove their moral superiority by attempting to minimize civilian casualties. That's all well and good. Unfortunately, this policy also means that politicians put our soldiers in harm's way in order to save non-combatants. The New York Times reported on July 21st that flaws in U.S. air war left hundreds of civilians dead in Afghanistan. In its own unique, objective style, the Times noted, the American air campaign in Afghanistan, based on a high-tech, out-of-harm's-way strategy, has produced a pattern of mistakes that have killed hundreds of Afghan civilians. The New York Times and other news services call both Afghan non-combatants and American non-combatants civilians. This is disingenuous. American civilians are people who go about their daily lives without providing cover for terrorists or giving them money.
Wow. I'm stunned. Yeah. You kind of have to disavow this.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's calling just for a
This is like
basically
something like
total brutal warfare.
This is like something like Darth Vader would write or
Yeah.
something, dude.
It's like
the Empire is justified in all of its actions.
It's funny to even think about, like, there being a pundit out there that was taking such a position. Like, oh yeah, an American soldier's worth more than an Afghan civilian.
Well,
Just-
not only that, not even worry about minimizing the casualties. Just saying, look, if there's one soldier in harm's way and there's civilians,
town.
we just have to kill them all.
yeah, nuke the town, man.
Well, it's about raising the fields. It's like it's
Kill
just
the town.
It's total warfare. It's like you go in there and just fucking destroy them. You
And the
sack
justification is that, you know, citizens in America are not a bunch of terrorist funders. It's like, I think that those people might disagree as we bomb the shit out of their civilian village.
Yeah.
I think they might disagree with what the tax base of this country is funding.
If Ben Shapiro had been born Ben Al-Hawaz, he would be writing like the American imperialist terrorist dog. He'd be right on the right wing over there too.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? It's just the
It's
same
us
type of
versus
shit.
them, my
Yes,
friends.
one Muslim citizen is worth 10,000 American pig dog troops. When I hear that a bomb has gone off and American civilians were killed, I do not really care. It'd be
Yep,
him.
it'd be
It's
him,
just
dude.
him. Just put a fucking turban on him. You know what I mean?
Ben Nahawaz.
Just throw him out there. You know, slap a fucking Muslim sorry thing on him and just let him fucking be. Like, I believe that there is a mirror image of him over there in the Muslim world
Is this
somewhere.
just like edgelord
Osama bin Laden. I don't know.
Maybe.
Is this really just edgelord Ben Shapiro though?
It might. I mean, yeah, this is 2002. I don't know.
I mean, so he said he was syndicated.
he was pretty young at this point,
Yeah.
I
so
gotta tell you, man, the right wing really was militaristic back in the early 2000s, late 90s and shit. There was a lot of militarism, especially after 9/11.
I mean, yeah, this is like a year after 9/11.
right?
Not
yeah,
even.
so this is 2002, you said?
This is July 25th, 2002. So
This
9/11 is like
mere months. So yeah, this is
Yeah,
him
like-
trying to get on the who fucking cares who died, man. They came over here to America to kill it.
Welcome.
It's time to murder them all.
In his, not really in his defense, but there were a lot of morons talking just like him around that time. I remember them very well. There was a lot of bloodthirsty maniacs on the fucking radio and in the print. I used to listen to a lot of fucking Rush Limbaugh, and the shit that Rush Limbaugh was saying in the wake of 9/11, absurd shit, just like this.
We gotta
I'm
nuke
sure.
them. We gotta. It's like it's like these extreme reactions. It's like you don't think there's gonna be a price to pay for doing that. Like all these airstrikes, and you wonder why like all these U.S. soldiers and people end up dying. And not only just it's not so much soldiers, but like look at the cities themselves. They're destabilized. There's constant terror attacks. There's constant people being kidnapped. There's drug trade. There's all this other bad stuff that goes along with having a central government or a strong government in these countries. I don't see how you can argue. Oh, well, let's further erode that and destroy it more and more. It's like, what do you think's gonna happen if you just drop a bunch of bombs and kill everyone?
you don't have
You win.
a right to health care.
How do you get a stable society out of that?
Here is more Ben Shapiro.
On Sunday, Senator Bernie Sanders took to Twitter to deliver one of his usual messages. People go to the doctor because they're sick, get a diagnosis from their doctor, but they can't afford the treatment, he wrote. How crazy is that? So I responded snarkily, I go to a fancy store to check out a piece of furniture and I can't afford it. Totally crazy.
Totally the same thing, too, Ben.
Please, sir, if I don't get that couch, I'll die.
See, this
I'm
is like
sorry,
the
sir.
sick mind of the conservative, right? So your grandma's broken leg is the same as you going to IKEA and picking out a couch. You dumb fuck, man.
Well, let's be
If
honest.
I go to a Bed Bath & Beyond and I can't afford the coffee table, then...
He wouldn't be caught dead any of those places, number one.
You don't know where he shops.
Dude, let me tell you something about Ben Shapiro. Like, this whole fucking idea of comparing someone to a piece of furniture is just inhumane, immoral. I mean, he's totally it's. I hate to say it, he's just a fucking totally immoral person. It's like
Just a shit-laden fucking position to take. You should not ever be in a position where you're hurt and need fucking medical attention and don't have the money.
And
to pay
really
for what you
easy
need.
for
he's
little...
painting it as a luxury.
It's really... Yeah, because he's a rich boy.
Yeah, when has Ben
You don't
Shapiro
know.
ever
You don't know
wanted for
shit.
healthcare?
He's a rich boy from a rich family.
He never wanted for
He
shit
ain't
in
never
his life.
had to deal with shit in the real world. Everything's been handed to him on a silver fucking platter. He thinks that a tranny grabbing him by the back of the neck is fucking assault.
Yeah.
This guy's a fucking puss bag.
But there's like all these working class blue collar people that are lining up to listen to this dude
Because
tell them
because he can repackage their bigotry into something that sounds intellectual.
Right.
Left. How could I dare to compare medical care to furniture? Was I equating the two? Was I suggesting
Yes,
that the
you were.
necessity of furniture was somehow comparable
Yep.
to the necessity
Yes,
of medical
yes.
care?
Yes, you
of
were.
Of course not, because that would be stupid.
Then why even bring it up?
The correct answer is that you are stupid.
Yeah. Why even bring it
I
up?
would never say that because that would be stupid, and that would mean I'm stupid, and I'm not stupid. Yes, you are.
Yeah, you just said that.
Yeah, what's the point of even saying
You,
that?
All right.
you just said that
You know what?
responded to Bernie Sanders that way.
So you know what? Okay, fine. Tell us this fucking distinction then. Let's hear the grand distinction that makes it all work.
I didn't realize we were going to see how hard he can backpedal. Let's hear it.
All right, backpedaling starts now.
I was pointing out that medical care is a commodity, and that in life we are.
Isn't kind of the point of the liberal position that it shouldn't be?
And the point of the outrage about your fucking comparison of a broken leg to a fucking table at IKEA?
Right. The whole
It's not a
objection to that
commodity,
is that it
dipshit.
shouldn't be treated as a commodity.
It's not a commodity.
It should be treated as a fucking
commodity
right.
is something that you want.
Often faced with commodities we cannot afford. But this mere observation caused a ruckus on the left. Necessities don't compare to luxuries, said one angry tweeter. Bless characters like Ben Shapiro for demonstrating the complete soullessness of capitalist ideology, tweeted another. The idea here seems...
I don't know why you're bringing those up, because that just makes me be like, okay, yeah that's...
People tweeted
were right. Spot on,
People
yeah.
tweeted mean things about me.
They didn't even tweet mean things. They tweeted fucking actual arguments.
Yeah, they pointed out
They're
the
idiots.
fundamental coldness
You're
of
an
your
idiot.
position and the stupidity of trying to compare some medical necessity to a fucking table or anything
let's
else,
see.
any other commodity.
Well, Paul, you know what? He's about to refute everything
All
I
right,
said.
let's hear
to
it.
be that unless you declare medical care a right rather than a commodity, you're soulless. That, as Marx might put it, necessity rather than autonomy creates rights. This is foolish, both morally and practically. Morally, you have no right to demand medical care of me. I may recognize your necessity, I may offer charity. My friends and I may choose to band together and fund your medical care. But your necessity...
Yeah, how many times have you chosen to do that, Ben?
Yeah.
How many people's medical bills have you paid exactly?
I'm guessing 0.0 times in his life has he ever banded together with his rich buddies and decided to pay for a poor person's dental work.
Well, he pays through that with his...
You motherfucker. I hate this rich fuck mentality, man. This and why blue collar. Like, I grew up blue collar. I couldn't imagine my parents listening to shit like this. They actually had to make that hard decision of like, do I go to the doctor now or wait until my fucking deductible's lower? You know what I mean? He's never had to do that shit. He gets a toothache. He goes in and gets it drilled. He doesn't even know who pays for it anymore.
does
Fuck
not
him.
change the basic math. Medical care is a service and a good.
You know what,
provided.
motherfucker? If I don't got a right to my fucking health care out of your pocket, then get your vampire corporate ass out of my fucking country. What gives you the right to suck off of me, motherfucker? And give nothing back? Is life no longer a two-way street on Shapiro Island? Fuck you! Take you and your Ivy League milquetoast violin playing faggot billionaire buddies and get out of my country, motherfucker! Because we outnumber you! And we're dying!
So beautiful.
By a third party. No matter how much I need bread, I do not have a right to steal your wallet or hold up the local bakery to obtain it. Theft may end up being
As if you would ever do something like that. As if you would ever have the balls to hold somebody up, you little simp. Fuck you! You're not allowed to use an analogy so far from you that it's inconceivable. Of course, Ben Shapiro's never gonna fucking hold a knife up to a man and ask him for his wallet.
Oh my god, dude, I knew this episode was gonna be gold, dude. I knew it from the start, dude. I knew it from the start. Because Paul already couldn't wait to talk about him, even in the fucking post-show. I know what? I was like, Paul's gonna be triggered so fucking hard by this piece of shit,
man.
dude.
I just hate this little
Dude,
weasel.
he is so disgusting and contemptuous, dude. He is. I fucking revile this dude. I don't understand how anyone likes him. I don't understand how anyone follows him. I don't understand how anyone takes seriously a single word that vacates his empty fucking head.
Well, I mean, the system we currently have is mainly funded by the government. And now, obviously, there's private insurance and stuff, but at this point, what he's arguing for is like we just keep the same broken system. And he's actually, what he said on the record is we need to fucking deregulate the healthcare industry more, basically saying Obamacare needs to be done away with.
Right. Well,
if you look at the aspects,
it's his selective libertarianism.
Well, yeah, he's basically just created a false dichotomy. It's like, look, it's either going to be you have this fucking terrible fucking system, universal healthcare system. That's you're being a death panels. You're gonna have these long lines. You're not gonna get access to care, or you can just fucking deregulate. It's gonna drive the cost way down, but it's basically gonna be super exclusionary and super cost prohibitive to most people. So basically, his system is like just the wealthy and those people have access to healthcare, and everyone else maybe they can get some government bullshit.
Maybe you're wrong, Sky. Let's hear some more.
Immoral choice under the circumstances. That doesn't make it a moral choice or suggest that I have not violated your rights in pursuing my own needs. But the left thinks that declaring necessities rights somehow overcomes the individual rights of others. If you're sick, you now have the right to demand that my wife, who is a doctor, care for you. Is there any limit to this right?
You already pay taxes, motherfucker. You already have agreed to live in a society. In California, by the way, you hypocrite. You live in a society where you pay a profound amount of taxes that pay for the entire fucking society around you. The welfare and well-being of every man around you is already coming out of your pocket.
Does he view every, fireman as a slave? Every
view
cop
shit
as a slave?
This is a
every
California
person working
rich
at the
boy
DMV
right here.
a slave?
I grew up around these motherfuckers. This is a Cali rich boy right here. He doesn't understand shit.
I think Paul knew some Ben Shapiros back in the day.
Guarantee you I did. These highfalutin conservative dudes whose dads are farmers and shit, and they're super uber rich, and they think they're fucking smart.
You want my doctor wife to be your slave, Paul?
Yeah.
I'll be a slave. It's like, that's not even...
They don't realize they're surrounded by a fucking society that's built on cooperation. They drive their fucking Bentleys on roads that are paid with taxes.
But further... Talking about a universal healthcare system, when countries have said healthcare is a right, look at fundamentally the outcomes. No one knows. If you don't talk to people in other countries and say, "Do you guys feel enslaved by your universal healthcare system?"
I guarantee you,
yes. Oh, we're enslaved by this system.
I guarantee you, if there's a pothole on El Paradiso Fagitio Drive or wherever the fuck Ben Shapiro lives,
over Hamlet,
he's gonna be crying his little fucking sissy ass off for tax money to fill it. But when it comes to filling a filling in somebody's mouth because their tooth is fucking swollen and infected, fuck them.
They should have thought about that before they were born poor.
That tax money should go to make my neighborhood beautiful.
Provide life-saving care forever to the tunes of millions of dollars of other people's taxpayer dollars or services. How exactly can there be such a right without the government?
What people want is to look at the problem of healthcare like everyone has diseases, everyone gets sick, everyone has health problems. And how as a society do we manage those problems? Do we have a very fractured, independent system where everyone just tries to figure out their own healthcare? That doesn't really work.
Like we have now.
And we've seen other countries implement, and obviously in the U.S. it would probably be different because every country's a little bit different, but implement a system in which it would ensure everyone would be covered to have a more healthy and better sustained population.
You know what's funny? Is that people like Ben Shapiro and these hardcore conservative guys paint themselves as people that have a great, deep, abiding pride in this country. but they're willing to allow us to be the laughing stock of the world when it comes to our people dying of preventable illness, are charging people for routine healthcare needs.
And look what he's saying. Oh, these very expensive treatments. People need expensive medical intervention because they're not getting proper nutrition advice.
The rest of the first world is laughing at us, Scotty. They're laughing at this fucking... Why, exactly. Why wouldn't they? Where's your pride, Ben? Do you want America to be the place where... the shithole place where people die of gum disease?
Yes.
Because they can't get fucking dental work done? Is that what you're waving the flag for here on your fucking stupid Daily Wire show?
I don't think there's any other conclusion you can draw. He's
a
basically
festering
saying,
lower class that dies of preventable illness?
Too much money.
While rich boys like you excoriate the virtues of fucking paying less and less taxes? Is that what you're proud of? Why do you fly the flag if that's what you're flying it for? What's to be proud of in that?
Rationing care or using compulsion to force individuals to provide it or
Yeah, we know the argument. All right, so, Paul, you just feel like you're entitled to something in this world, don't you?
No.
You just feel like you're fucking
Reloading Paul.
owed something. Well, I got news for you. You're not owed anything in this world,
Nothing.
Paul. Nothing.
Generation E believe he or
This is
she
a very recent one.
should get into the best colleges. Even
All right,
if
we'd spend the whole time picking apart Laura Ingraham if we fucking kept
Don't
this
even
going.
get me started on this
Shapiro,
bitch.
All right, here we go.
Of the Daily Wire and author of the brand new book, The Right Side of History, in stores tomorrow. All right, Ben, I want to begin.
Did that book really have the fucking subheader, how reason and moral purpose, et cetera, really?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's his
man.
new book. It's big. It's super big.
And with
It's been on the New York Times bestseller list for weeks now.
what we were talking about earlier.
Number
and
one.
It
Number one.
dovetails into everything you write about in your book, the emerging politics of grievance and entitlement, Generation E. Your thoughts on how to best thwart this, combat this, cure this?
I mean, I think that the best way to combat a lot of this stuff is to focus on achievement and freedom and responsibility. The fact is that freedom comes along with the duty to achieve, and you're not...
So basically the same shit that fucking Rush Limbaugh was saying back in 1986 when I was listening to him on the radio.
The general bullshit hasn't changed.
It's the same shit.
You know, I mean,
what did that mean?
This is hardly the first conservative to talk about like achievement and pull yourself up by your bootstraps and merit.
What does that mean? What does freedom and responsibility mean to a person that can't get a job and that can't feed their kids? What does that? What do those words do to put food on that table?
Furthermore, what does it mean to someone like Ben Shapiro who
has never had to fucking deal with that?
He's never. I mean, like, has Ben Shapiro achieved? I mean, like, you can't say he's achieved nothing. Because obviously he has, but
look what he's done with
all of his achievements are so contingent. Like Ben Shapiro, if he'd been born in a fucking hovel somewhere, his talent and his genius and whatever the fuck else he's got going for him wouldn't bring him to the top. He'd be stuck right there, spinning his wheels in the mud in bumfuck Kentucky or wherever.
Yep, and he'd probably have a way different outlook on life too. He'd probably be going like, man, it's fucking stupid. It's goddamn fucking stupid that I can't find a job and I can't get health care and I got this fucking tooth swollen up in my mouth.
It's really easy to fucking be born to a rich family and have everything handed to you and then talk about your great achievements in life.
Yeah, and talk about how you just want to pay less and less and less back into the society that you flourish off of like a tick.
Anything in this world, why should you perceive yourself to be owed a college slot? Why should your parents give you everything? Yeah, that sort of mentality is foreign to a lot of...
You're just a fucking...
What do you mean that mentality is foreign to you? Why should your parents give you everything?
Total lack of self-awareness.
You're the one who feels entitled. You feel entitled to all this money that you inherited from your parents that you never actually fucking worked for. I guess your parents are still alive, probably.
Do you think he doesn't believe that's a factor? Like he really believes it all just happened for him because he's just
this
hardworking.
This condescending cocksucker, I guarantee he thinks he's fucking God's anointed, chosen one on the face of the earth, dude.
Oh, you can tell that.
I mean, this guy...
You can tell that from the way he speaks.
This guy literally, like, you know, when he's got like a little tube that goes out of his ass, that when he farts, he can go put the tube directly in his nose and just like inhale it.
Get that fucking gas directly to the olfactory.
Oh, yes, my farts are the most splendid and wonderful farts.
Well, he's a douche.
No, this guy, this guy thinks that you could drop him off anywhere in the world and he'd be a success.
Fuck that.
That's what he believes.
This motherfucker wouldn't last 10 minutes.
This soft motherfucker.
In a bad part of America, let alone in a third world environment. Especially not if they dropped him with the skills he has now.
But then again, turds do float, so.
Of the bases for Western civilization and the basis for America, this idea that we were supposed to go forth and conquer, that we were supposed to forge into the wilderness and we were supposed to build something out there. That sort of mentality, unfortunately, has been abandoned in favor
because
of...
That's the mentality you had, Ben.
Because there's no more wilderness.
Come on.
That's like, basically, that sounded very like imperialistic to me. Yeah. Like, we just need to go forth and conquer. Like, why the fuck isn't it Planet America yet?
Yeah, and you know what?
And the puppet to the left just going,
Yeah, and you know what, dude? The next time we do invade one of these countries to set up a bunch of bases in it, because you know it's going to happen. Iran, Venezuela, whichever one it is.
One of those two.
I guarantee you that Ben Shapiro will be right there riding on that lead tank, dude, waving the American flag and shooting an M16 with his free hand, dude. He'll be right there. The
freedom!
Man of men, dude.
No,
defending freedom and justice in the American way,
he's gonna be right here defending it and talking about how great it is from the comfort and safety of his palatial California mansion.
His soft little pundit ass sitting on it. Fucker. I hate these little chicken hawk motherfuckers, dude. Yeah, we should be going and conquering them. Why don't you lead the charge, pussy? Pick up a helmet and a flak jacket and an M16 and get in that fucking marine boat. And be the first one to breach the beachhead of whatever fucking country we're invading next. Or shut up.
This grievance culture, as you suggest, that says that we're all owed something from the world, and if we don't get it, it's because the system has failed us.
Well, and even the
I mean, it's really fucking true because he's had everything in his life handed to him. He's like, why does anyone complain about everything? Life is just great. I have a great life. Look at me. I'm a success.
Don't you allow for the possibility that the system has failed us? And that's why we're sitting here?
But if you're a winner of that system, would you feel that way? If you were just Paul Esquire, your life was in the lap of luxury and everything you wanted you had, would you be like, the system is a failure? You'd be like, no, the system is great. These people are just whiners.
The system is glorious.
So, I mean, because someone like Ben Shapiro, it is. He lives in the lap of luxury. He's popular. He's wealthy. He's, like he can go places and people are just kissing his ass.
And you know what?
Constantly.
It's like every time you try to go for his wealth to pay for some, government programs that would benefit society as a whole, he just it seems like he feels really entitled to it,
Yeah. Yep.
I earned that.
Strange.
I pulled myself up from my bootstraps.
Generation E, huh?
It's almost like conservatives have their own sense of entitlement about certain things, like my vast personal fortune should never be touched for any reason. There's no valid social reason why ever my vast fortune should be touched or taxed in any way, shape, or form.
Except for the military.
Yeah, I'm entitled to sit on my fat, comfy, rich ass in my fucking comfy-ass mansion somewhere and not have the needs or wants of the greater society that I fucking make money off of ever show up at my doorstep.
Look,
that sounds like entitlement to
Paul,
me.
You know what they need you to spend all your money on, dude? They need to spend all your fucking money, with the exception of a few entitlement programs that happened a long time ago. The military, you gotta spend all this money on. Look, you need more tanks, you need more planes, you need more bombs.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, these guys are all in favor of that. Ben Shapiro, double the military's budget. Keep us even more safe and more free.
A young woman was wearing a T-shirt when she was confronting Chelsea Clinton. Of all people, like Chelsea Clinton's. But isn't that kind of I'm so sick of the phrase "jump the shark" because that's jump the shark. But isn't that telling
like
you
this show?
A lot?
This show started with the shark pre-jumped.
Yeah.
So
About just how pathetic this whole entitlement.
Can you just riff again a pre-prepared statement about how pathetic this entitlement is?
Movement has gone when Chelsea Clinton is targeted.
Yeah, I mean, when Chelsea Clinton is too radical for you because she's too far on the right, I think that maybe you've not just jumped the shark, you've jumped the...
Oh, my God. Because Chelsea Clinton is as left as anyone could possibly be. If she doesn't pass muster, how crazy must these people be?
You know what a liberal firebrand she is. What a big
my God
topic she is. Her name is on every liberal lip, man. Chelsea
Clinton.
What'd she say today?
What's in the Chelsea Clinton Bible?
What did she do? What did
Let me
she
consult
say?
my "What would Chelsea Clinton do" bracelet.
Yeah, he's got his finger on the pulse, man. He really
I mean,
knows.
when it comes to the point where even Chelsea Clinton isn't far enough to the left. You know, what has happened to America?
Yeah.
I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Chelsea Clinton, the rich daughter of the moderate Republican ex-president that masqueraded as a Democrat. Yeah, that guy.
The ultimate lib.
Yeah, what a liberal, man. What an example of the average liberal, man.
Aquarium. It's demonstrative.
Maybe in his world.
Feeling have taken the place of objective fact. What Chelsea Clinton had to say about Ilhan Omar was basic objective fact. She was speaking anti-Semitism. Chelsea Clinton called her out on.
No, she was not. No, she wasn't. Oh my God, I didn't know he was going to touch on this, but wow.
Yeah, that's totally.
I mean,
bullshit.
that's like on its own. I'm just gonna I've already said it in a video, but criticism of Israel does not equal anti-Semitism. That is bullshit.
It does.
And nothing that Ilhan Omar said was the least bit fucking anti-Semitic. Not even fucking slightly.
Yes, it was.
So it was not an objective fact that she was speaking anti-Semitism. It is very much your feeling, Ben.
Facts, not feelings, TJ.
When I heard what she said, my yarmulke flew right off my head. I was so offended.
And somehow she's now responsible for the Christchurch shooting because she did all of that. But that's how some people feel, and therefore it becomes the truth. And they've been told that they're right and that they're special and that they're wonderful individuals.
Isn't that what you do for a living, is go to people who are wrong and tell them they're right for a living so that you can make a bunch of money on your stupid little your little articles that are really just ads, but they look indistinguishable from the articles so that the people perusing your site click on just about as many ads as they do articles so that you could charge a boatload of money for ads.
Don't get in the way of my right to make that money, TJ.
I mean, I'm not against your right to make the fucking money.
Well, then why are you trying to take it?
I just thought maybe we could get some health care up in this bitch.
Then I tell you what you do, TJ. Go get a job, get some health insurance, and go get the health care that you need. Sounds like
I'm already doing that, and it really sucks, Ben.
Oh, you're not working. Get another job.
Okay, I'll try.
I was taking violin lessons at the same time I was founding the Daily Wire. You can multitask.
All right, I'll do it for you, Ben.
The problem is,
just have your nanny watch the kids.
The problem here is you're part of the entitlement generation, TJ. You just want something for nothing, dude. Money for nothing. Who the fuck's for free?
Let
dude.
me like when it comes right down to it, who the fuck isn't entitled? Like, who would if you come to him like, here's a bag of money for nothing? Like, who the fuck's like, I don't want that. I want to earn that.
Well, that you know why entitlement is a bad word now? Even on both, like the liberals have now stopped using it. Mm-hmm. But it's not. Entitlement is actually what we should be moving towards, in my opinion.
Like, why is it just beyond the pale, the idea that maybe people are entitled to certain things?
Well, because
living in a rich, prosperous country,
because
maybe there are actually some fucking entitlements. I don't know.
Because it challenges the base poisonous narrative on which this country currently runs, which is, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong on this, when you're born out of your mom's pussy, you owe. Soon as you lie screaming on that fucking mat, you owe. You owe to society. As soon as you're old enough, you owe it to society to go get a job. You owe it to pay your taxes.
Yeah, but then when it's like, hey, maybe,
I
agree 100%. And then when you turn around and say, hey, maybe society owes me a few things. Nope, not today, Mr. fucking entitled.
Right.
Fuck you.
Entitlement, when it comes to the government taking care of its people, should not be a bad word or a buzzword for either side of the aisle. It's exactly what it is. It's saying that a person that's born here or immigrates here naturally is entitled to a certain quality of life. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. How much happiness can you pursue when you're waddling around on two fucking gangrene-ridden legs that you're worried about not being able to pay for? Ben?
I mean,
it's right. Don't you worship the Constitution? Don't you put a fucking, plexiglass mat over the Constitution every night and jerk yourself off onto it? Isn't that your deal? What about life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness? What about the Bill of Rights?
All entitlement. I mean, another thing is, it's not even. I mean, you had a very extreme example. You said gangrene. I mean, look, there's a lot of people that ration things like diabetes medicine. There's a lot
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that are rationing a lot of things, and he's talking about, they need to we're talking about rationing healthcare, and it's like we're talking about rationing this, and we live in this kind of society Ben Shapiro wants, but Ben Shapiro's really just, if you look at it at the basis, he's basically arguing for the status quo, or even going further, like, hey, look, let's just almost get rid of taxes, and look, it's going to save everyone a bunch of taxes. Oh, now we have to cut all these entitlement programs. Oh, there can't be Medicare anymore. Oh, there can't be Social Security anymore because that's just too expensive.
Can you guys believe in the last episode that Paul said that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness was in the Constitution? Because actually, that was in the Declaration of Independence.
That's correct.
Paul is such a fucking idiot, right, you guys?
I am an idiot.
Right, you guys?
Well, whatever.
Right?
All right, so now he's going to prove the existence of God to us. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Crystal says, hey, Ben, what would you say is the best evidence for God? What gives you a reason to believe? Thanks for all you do. My husband and I listen to your show every day and discuss it together. We're big fans.
Gross.
So I'm writing a book on
feel
this.
bad for them.
The best evidence for God, as I have said on the show before, and as I say in debate with Sam Harris, which I think is going to, he'll be putting that out pretty soon if he hasn't already. The basic idea is that if you believe in free will, if you believe in human reason, if you believe in our capacity to understand the universe, if you believe in a predictable universe with laws that govern it, if you believe we do not live in a chaotic universe without meaning, if you believe that you can derive aught from is, then you need to believe in a divine creator.
I only believe in about 20% of those things. So
And I'm
I guess I don't have to believe in a divine creator, then, right?
I'm probably slightly iffy on the 20% that I do believe too.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I'm not even 100% on the 20%.
It's just at this point, the old fucking the old go-to basically like extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Like some rhetoric doesn't really bridge that
Well,
gap.
this is the old cosmological argument repackaged in Ben Shapiro form,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, like look at this. Look
at the complexity.
The complexity. It's meaningless. If a 747 is torn apart in a field, it's just.
Well, I will point out that a big ass thunderbolt just fucking dropped.
Holy shit, dude!
Right
It's a
as
sign.
right as we were having this conversation,
Because that never happens in Louisiana.
I know. So I mean, like, I didn't hear one before that, and then all of a sudden we start talking shit on God, and then it's like, boom! I'm a believer now. I'm a believer.
I believe in Zeus, dude. Fuck that.
Zeus.
Well, since you can actually see him in this clip, I'll just show us instead of the Ben Shapiro Show subscribe, because I don't want anyone fucking subliminally being affected into doing that.
Okay, and that's not an argument for the Bible, but that is an argument for God, right? That's the Aristotelian.
No, I don't understand. Like, no, even if I granted you all of those things,
Which
100%, which I definitely don't. You still have to argue how that all equals up to God, let alone the Christian God. I know you already said
You don't even get to God.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
your
like,
premises are so flawed that you got me on about, like TJ said, 10, 15, 20% max.
Yeah, but I'm saying even if I granted them all, even if I was just being extremely generous and saying, we'll bypass all of that and just discuss this part of the argument, I still don't see how all of that adds up to God.
There's not even all he's done so far. It's just a rhetorical exercise. There's not even anything to suggest there's any sort of evidence that he's going to present. He's just going to make an argument. He's just going to make a philosophical argument
just
that
silliness.
somehow leads to God. And it's like, that doesn't prove God. That what you're saying is totally disingenuous and false. You're not proving anything.
An argument for God is that there is a rationale behind everything. If you believe there's a rationale behind everything, then
don't.
you believe in God.
Well, why would I? How would I know that?
A rationale implies a mind. And I don't think there's a mind behind everything. I don't think that you've demonstrated that there's a mind behind everything.
Yeah, if you believe
that's the little premise you're trying to sneak by me.
I don't even think that you've demonstrated that you have a mind of your own.
If you believe, as Aquinas did, that rationale is pure.
And by the way, Aquinas.
Aquinas.
Don't you want to agree with a guy named Aquinas?
Yeah.
Doesn't that just, that name alone, you just hear it and you're like, you know what? That sounds like a guy who is probably right about
Why
things.
do I need to argue with 15th century Christian apologetics? Fuck you.
I know.
It's just
Let's just
ridiculous.
ignore all of the advancements in human thought that have happened in the last 5 or 6 centuries. And
I mean, like, you want me to go look up fucking shit Thomas Aquinas thought? Because I guarantee Thomas Aquinas probably believes some fucking crazy ass bullshit.
Didn't Thomas Aquinas write something? I'm trying to remember. He wrote one of the, like, he didn't write Dante, did he?
No, he wrote like...
He wrote like something like that, though, didn't he?
It
Some
was like the
religious
12,
thing.
Some 12 like, rules or something.
Oh.
Along the lines of that, or 14.
Blah, blah, blah,
There's
blah,
some famous
blah.
document that a lot of Christians use.
Famous philosopher, theologian, jurist, tradition of scholasticism.
Scholasticism.
Scholasticism. Let's see. So, trying to figure out what his actual beliefs were from this shit.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to do on the fly.
claims of levitation.
Oh, there you go.
For centuries, there have been recurring claims that Thomas had the ability to levitate. For example, G.K. Chesterton wrote that his experience included well-attested cases of levitation and ecstasy, and the Blessed Virgin appeared to him, comforting him with the welcome news that he would never be a bishop.
So he was a sideshow huckster who levitated people in front of other people.
Oh, look at this.
Cool. Yeah, let's listen to what he had to say about the truth of the universe. A sideshow guy. Do you believe in levitation, Ben Shapiro? If not,
you disagree with Thomas Aquinas, bitch.
You find yourself at odds with the great and powerful Thomas Aquinas, levitator of men and women in ecstasy.
It's arguing from this almost archaic perspective. Let's listen to this guy that 500 years ago wrote these. I'm not sure.
I don't have a problem with looking to history, but you need to look at it as exactly that, especially when it comes to scientific or philosophical musings. It's history. It's historical. There are hundreds of years of human thought between Thomas Aquinas and us right now, and you're trying to throw it all over your shoulder for one part of your already flawed argument whose premise is nobody with a brain buys.
Really actual, right? Here's sort of the argument that Aristotle makes. The argument that Aristotle makes for the unmoved mover is not
going even further back now
that everything has a cause.
Now we're at the
there's
Greeks,
God. Because then leftists and atheists just say, well, does God have a cause also? Right? The idea is that everything that you see in front of you at one point was another thing that was actualized, right? There's two things. Something has potential, and there's the potential and the actual, right? Like this piece of paper right here, this has the potential to be ash, but it requires fire in order to make it ash. Now, fire itself also had a potential at one point, right? It was a match, and it was a piece of wood, or it was a rough surface. So it had the potential to be fire, but it was not fire. So in order for something to become actual, in order for potential to be actualized, it has to be acted upon by something that is either fully actual or something that is a combination of the actual with its own potential. The idea here would be that there is...
What do you mean fully actual? Like you said in this example of the match starting the fire. Like the match doesn't become the fire.
Right.
First of all.
The match had to be made.
Right, but as you say, it was already actual as a match before it became, transformed into a fire.
Is this just a roundabout way?
So I don't understand this. What's the distinction between something being actualized and something being potential?
Where's he going with it is what I'm wondering.
Well, it just goes back down the causal chain to there had to be some kind of first actualized
it's the
thing.
Irreducible complexity
and that first thing must have been God.
Right.
Because that's the only thing it could be.
And when you ask, well, what was God's potential? When was God potential?
Well, he was the first actualized thing.
God? Oh, well, he's outside of it because he's a magical spirit man. It's like, oh, okay. So your argument's bullshit.
He's exempt from the laws.
Right? It is actuality itself. It is the most actual thing. And this thing cannot be material, because if it were material, then it would have potential for change. Right? It doesn't have potential for change. Therefore, it is purely actual. And that pure...
Oh, my God. It's just a bunch of word soup at this
blah,
point.
Blah, 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 and this is why my magic man is the right way. It's like, no.
And his magic, and his particular version of the Magic Man, too.
I mean, this is not... And by the way, anybody who was familiar with the atheist community when that was a huge thing has heard this argument 7 billion times.
TJ and I have both fielded this argument a dozen times a piece, at least, in videos.
And Ben Shapiro's version is not altogether any different from anyone else's.
The same amount of word soup.
How about abortion? How does he feel about that?
Oh, I'm sure he hates it. Unless he knocks somebody up and needs to get one, and of course, and then he'll do it.
Now, this one, this is the thing I really hate. Here's Olivia Wilde, who's the actress most famous from being in House, and here she is talking about why she is in favor of abortion. This is one of the more disgusting videos I've ever seen.
It's disgusting.
Abortion.
Prepare to be disgusted.
Yeah,
one of the most
This election
disgusting.
cycle, I'm thinking a lot about reproductive rights. Everyone's right to plan when they want to have a family. And it's on my mind because I'm literally about to have a baby. Like, in a minute. To be able to decide exactly how.
Okay, so she says that she's thinking about reproductive rights 1 minute from having a baby. This is about as perverse a notion as I could possibly imagine. That as you're about to have your child, you're thinking, boy, wouldn't it be great if I could still kill this thing? It's really imperative that I be
that's
able to...
exactly what she was saying. See, I love this implied shit. That I don't care. I don't even know what her message is ultimately, but she never said, man, am I still giddy about thinking about killing this baby. That's not what she said. She said she was thinking about reproductive rights because she's a woman who has made the decision to have a family. And she's thinking about how important that decision is and how important it is for women to be able to make that decision when it's right in their lives. Am I wrong?
Yes, you're wrong. She was just sitting there. You know what happened?
I want to kill this
What's
thing.
this bitch's name?
Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde. She was sitting there. She's looking at her big pregnant belly. She was smoking a cigarette, drinking some wine, just staring at that belly with the utmost contempt. She's like, you know what I'd like to do right now?
Kill this thing.
Pop goes the baby.
Yeah, I'd love to just go in and just fucking have the doctor suck this little faggot's fucking brains out. That's what I would really love to do.
Damn, also having a glass of wine. So she
Yeah.
wants to get, that's fucked up, dude.
She's
That's just a
fucking...
drink.
She's probably smoking crack pipe.
Isn't this dude the badass that was playing the fucking Game of Thrones theme with a wolf pelt around his shoulders? Why is he clutching his skirt about this and reading all this emotional bullshit into a statement that was clearly very benign?
To still kill this thing. You know, here I am. Look how pregnant I am. There's a baby in here. This is my beautiful child. And I was thinking, maybe I should just kill it. You know, it's really important that women be able to kill it anytime they please. She continues along these lines, not, of course, understanding really what she's saying on a moral level.
How and when.
Wow, you just describing yourself there?
Yeah.
Dude,
she just rambles on without really knowing what she's saying on a moral level.
Dude, doesn't he look like the kid from American Beauty here?
He kind of does, yeah. Have you ever seen a bag floating in the wind? It's so beautiful.
This is a weird screen cap moment because there's like two of her head.
Transition.
And this is like something you'll see in A Nightmare Tonight.
Yeah, dude. Olivia Wilde and Ben Shapiro are going to haunt me all goddamn night.
Over the
and
shoulder,
why
too.
And where I want to have a baby. And I believe that is a basic human right. I care about reproductive rights. What do you care about? If you care about your future, vote for it.
Okay, what I care about is not killing babies. And let me.
Is that what you care about?
What I care about.
You know what I really like? I like when babies don't die.
I want 1 million babies a year to be born, and then fuck them. They're on their own. What a brave,
I don't
wonderful
want babies
position.
to die. I don't want babies to die unless they die of not able to afford
A baby
health
in the
care.
womb is
That's okay.
entitled to life, but after that, entitled to nothing.
Nothing. Then they owe society.
Yeah, what a beneficent fucking person you are.
This is
What a
going
wonderful
to be
guy.
mildly graphic, but this is important because I'm sick of the euphemisms. Okay, it's not aborting a fetus. It's not getting rid of a ball of tissues, a ball of tissue. Okay, this what I'm about to show you right now is a
Here
picture
we go.
of
Shock
a baby.
and awe.
Okay, this is a baby it was a picture of a baby that was aborted by Kermit Gosnell. Okay, this is the Gosnell was somebody who was not covered by the media in any way, shape, or form. He was the most prolific serial killer probably in American history, and this was a baby girl aborted by Kermit Gosnell. And the only question was whether it was legal for him to kill this baby or not. And the only question there was how old was the baby and was the abortion done inside the womb or outside the womb. Okay, so this baby, I believe.
Wow. What a compelling fact that was.
Yeah,
and
I
not
know.
at all
I don't know.
Not at all an emotional argument meant to
No.
elicit feelings.
Facts and feelings.
Because you don't
man.
like those, right, Ben?
No,
What
you're-
you like is cold, hard facts, not a
Right.
bunch of wishy-washy feelings, right?
Yep. And the cold hard facts of the matter is that a lot of these babies that you're hoping are born to parents that aren't prepared to take care of them or don't want them are going to suffer horribly, and you are going to fight for every penny of your tax dollars not going to do a thing for them.
And you know, in some of the
And
other
you're going
video
to call
clips,
it the moral high ground.
and some of the other clips I looked at, he berates parents who like
They have these kids they can't take care of.
Yeah.
They have these kids they can't take care of. Oh, what the monsters!
Don't
It's like,
abort them, though.
So what like if you're a poor person or a person who's not able to take care of kids and you get pregnant, like what is the fucking choice there? Because you don't like it when they are not able to take care of them.
You're
but if they're
murdering
like,
a baby, TJ.
but if they decide, hey, I can't take care of this kid, better to just fucking terminate the fucking pregnancy. Better to just blow the little fucking baby's brains out. You can say it as graphic as you want. Better to murder the fucking child. I don't give a fuck how you phrase it.
Well,
It's the rational goddamn thing to allow to happen.
the great thing about this is that it always regresses to don't fuck. Don't fuck out of
just
wedlock.
don't fuck.
That's really
By the
what-
way, Ben Shapiro bragged about being a virgin into his 20s.
He bragged about it?
Yeah, he was like, I am a virgin and I am proud.
Oh.
And then, he was saving himself for marriage, and I don't know if he's still a virgin. I don't think so anymore. But
I want to believe he is.
What a thing to brag about.
No, he was really proud. Like, there's it's liberal and moralism.
I mean, I don't think
they
you
want
should
to turn
necessarily
everyone
be ashamed of being a virgin. You fuck whenever you fuck, but like, don't like wave the flag like it makes.
Well,
you
he was
some
trying to take outright pride in it. Like, this is
abstinence.
Well, that's what it comes down to, though. That really is what it's about, and it's like fundamentally never going to happen. It's like going to a species and telling it not to fuck other members of its species. It's not going to happen.
After the 24-week cutoff, but not by much. So this baby is. Let's see how old this baby is. This is a case where an abortion went awry. She went to a hospital, and the baby ended up dying at the hospital. By 24 weeks, most babies.
Man, you're a shitty-ass abortion doctor if you can't kill the baby.
Well, Kermit, I've looked into Kermit Gosnell because I've heard my dad is a big old anti-abortion dork. And
right.
I used to go back and forth with him on Facebook from time to time with shit. So and he was like, Kermit Gosnell was doing all kinds. But like the thing about Kermit Gosnell that nobody wants to talk about is the reason that women had to go to such a weird fuck that was obviously doing shit not right was because abortion rights were in fucking flux. So it's like the idea that a woman should have to go to somebody like that is what he's advocating for, as he sits and moralizes about what a horrible person Kermit Gosnell was.
He's born prematurely will survive. This is a late-term abortion, okay? This is what her baby looks like in the womb. We can see that picture again. That's what that baby looks like. This is a less graphic
Show your
picture
shocking
of what
fucking
an
image
abortion
again.
looks like, okay?
Why don't you show some, just to like, have another emotional perspective. Why don't you show all the kids who are like wards of the state?
No.
Being tossed around from fucking, foster home to foster. Why don't you show all the kids starving and abused and living in poverty? Why don't you show all those kids so that there's kind of like a little bit of a counterweight?
I mean, doesn't the average kid like cost?
If we're gonna make some corny emotional argument, why don't we make both sides of it? Huh?
I mean, how about facts? Like most kids cost about $200,000 to raise in the United States, unless you're just totally neglectful and don't buy them anything and don't get them clothes or barely feed them. Like that's a huge investment for a parent, and ask them to take that on when it might be a single mother, it might be a single parent that. It just doesn't make sense for them to do that. It doesn't make it's not really the rational thing. Like, yeah, you can say, "Oh, you're murdering something," but it's at that point that person's not alive. Yeah, if someone's born, that's one thing. But if you're not born yet, I think in some cases.
And then when those people need
help,
when those people need some government help raising them kids, Ben Shapiro's right there to tell them like, we don't owe you
know
nothing.
What too? Another thing people like Ben Shapiro are doing is they're fucking limiting access to contraception. That fucking for the most part makes this not an issue.
Well,
if you can prevent this problem,
you shouldn't fuck. You shouldn't fuck, Scotty.
Well, that's his moral fucking
You
take.
shouldn't
If
fuck.
he doesn't want to fuck,
I'm a virgin at 23. Look at me. I don't fuck.
Look at me. I'm 23 and I don't get laid. Hooray!
Look at me, 23, never fucked a pussy.
Like, I want Ben Shapiro with his multi-million-dollar ass to go stand in front of a fucking abortion clinic and be like, hey, have this baby and I'll raise it. I'll take it off your hands right now. Come on. Give them good homes, man. Show how much you care about these children.
More graphic picture of what abortion looks like involves the snipping off of the crushing of the skull, the sucking out of the brains.
What does a graphic picture of a child that's malnourished in an American city look like? Can we get a graphic picture of that too? Because you don't seem to care about that. You don't want to pay a fucking dime out of your pocket so that kid can have something to eat after it comes out the pussy. You just care about it while it's floating in that amniotic sac.
Oh, you're alive? Fuck you. See ya.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't understand how your attitude towards everyone who's not born yet is like, oh my God, they're alive,
Sacred.
they're alive, they're a beautiful living being.
It's just an absurd
But then
line
the
in the
second
sand
they're
at this
born, you're
point.
like, you're a piece of shit. You don't nothing. The country don't owe you nothing. You're garbage. You're trash.
Dude, the entitled generation.
A bunch of entitled losers. I hate you. I hate you now that you're born, baby.
Everything regresses back to their fucking, like, just regressive ass Christian ideals, because here's how they'd answer this. Here's how they would answer.
He's a Jew,
this.
so remember that.
Well, whatever.
Judeo-Christian.
His Judeo, yeah, exactly. This family unit shit. He would be like, well, if these parents would wait and establish themselves and wait to have sex to get married and wait till they have good jobs to produce children and to have sex, then they wouldn't have this problem. That's what should happen. It's all about living according to your rigid idea of what social structure is. and we are surrounded by other shaved apes on this planet who are fucking despite that moralized fucking position. Even people that profess to have that position are out there blowing loads every fucking night.
Oh, yeah,
the hypocrisy of it is rank and obvious. The hypocrisy of supporting the life of a child while it's inside of the mother and then saying fuck it as soon as it comes out is rank and obvious. Trying to shock your audience with pictures of dead babies when you're Mr. Facts Before Feels is rank and obvious. You're just a walking yarmulke contradiction, aren't you, Ben?
That's the impression I've got every time I've dealt with him. I just feel like he's a fallacy machine, a hypocrisy machine, a contradiction machine. There's nothing cogent about his philosophy in life. Here's another...
well, it doesn't need to be.
Here's him being apparently... This is called Ben Shapiro rips pro-choice student at Berkeley.
But take that aside. You know, like what you just said. Like, yeah, he's not logically consistent a lot of times. He doesn't have a cogent... But he doesn't really need to. People are tuning in, probably sporadically. Even if you watch him every day. If you've watched 100 of these fucking shows, I think it said it was on episode 753. Like, how are you going to remember episode 385? He's made this claim and this argument. Like, we've actually
But he doesn't... No, the thing about it is it doesn't take him that long to contradict himself. Like, when I was watching him do his one of his speeches in its entirety, it was like... it was like he would say something and then contradict it, and then say something and then contradict it, and then say something and then contradict it.
Well,
anyone who likes him is a moron. You would literally, because you have to be a moron to fall for this bullshit, because it's so on the face of it wrong.
Well, why do you think
he can't stay consistent from paragraph to paragraph?
Well, you've done so many videos on Ben Shapiro. Why do you think the appeal is to just the average
Because he
person?
talks fast and he makes stupid shit sound like it's coming from an intelligent person.
Right. I get the
same
impression.
It's just all style
yeah.
and no substance.
It's all big words. It's all 50-cent college words. It's all, gospel from a person that people that are not as smart as him look to as an intellectual and one of the, forerunners of conservative thought. And it's just as dumb as anything coming out of the left. Just as brain dead, just as obviously self-refuting as any of the takes coming out of the left that he's against. He's just a demagogue, man.
Let's watch him argue with a pro-choice student at Berkeley. And apparently Ben Shapiro destroys him.
Of course.
So we'll see how that goes.
So my question was about abortion, and I just wanted to know why exactly do you think a first trimester fetus has moral value?
Okay, so a first trimester fetus has moral value because whether you consider it a potential human life or a full-on human life, it has more value than just a cluster of cells. If left to its natural processes, it will grow into a baby. So the real question is, where do you draw the line? So you're going to draw the line at the heartbeat? Because it's very hard to draw the line at the heartbeat. There are people who are adults who are alive because of a pacemaker. They need some sort of outside force generating their heartbeat.
That makes no sense. That comparison makes no sense.
Yeah, that's
You know where I draw the line? I draw the line, you shouldn't even come. Because you know what? That sperm, if it met with a fucking egg...
Yeah. Every sperm is sacred.
Could eventually become a baby.
Well, that's an appeal to nature fallacy. If all you're saying is that's what naturally happens if two people have sex and the egg is fertilized and the baby will grow. But yeah, we understand that that's what will happen.
Well, it says that in the Talmud, doesn't it? It says, "Don't spill your seed on the ground," right?
Spill not thine seed.
Well, God actually killed
Onan
or
we
whatever.
just kill them. Right. The problem is, anytime you draw any line other than the inception of the child, you end up drawing a false line that can also be applied to people who are adults. So either human life has intrinsic value or it doesn't. I think we both agree that
sneaking that premise by you.
Intrinsic value. Can we start from that premise?
No.
I believe that sentience is what gives something moral value, not necessarily being a human alone.
Okay, so when you're asleep, can I stab you?
When you're asleep.
So wait a minute.
So sentience doesn't actually end at sleep.
In fact, your brain is oftentimes more active while you're asleep than
you ever
it is while
you ever
you're
heard this thing called dreams?
Yeah. So another dumbass. Whoever guffawed in the audience should go shoot themselves. After
the
this.
whole audience is, or at least some were.
I'm asleep.
Okay, if you are in a coma from which you may awake, can I stab you?
Well then.
I mean, that depends on what your fucking living will says, right?
No. Not. I mean,
I'm glad you answered that because I have no interest in actually murdering you.
But that's still potential sentience, and it's still a potential.
I agree. It is potential sentience. You know what else is potential sentience? Being a fetus.
No, it's not. It's not potential
Destroyed.
sentience. It's interrupted sentience that may return to sentience.
Right, there was
it's a coma, not a baby. It's a coma victim.
There was already an established sentient being that could potentially reemerge. We're not talking about a sentience that was not yet formed.
See, it's all based on word games for dumb people. Like, if you're dumb, you're in the audience right now cheering, yeah, good argument, can't poke a hole in that. If you got two fucking brain cells to rub together, you see that it's a self-refuting piece of shit argument that leaves us right back at square one.
Potential, huh? Oh, gotcha. Potential. You said potential.
Yeah, dude, every sperm in my fucking jiggling around in my balls right now could potentially...
Oh, dude.
Be a sentient.
Be a sentient being.
When you spill your seed onto the ground, TJ, are you just fucking...
When I spill my seed onto my gym... Every gym sock I own is basically
another generation
a
gone.
mass grave of a genocide that I committed.
That's just ridiculous. You're just taking it to ridiculous extremes. Never mind the fact that my entire position is based on ridiculous extremes.
Yeah,
woo! With that though is that if I'm in a coma and I'm not like doing anything to anyone, I'm not causing any issues amongst the world. Whereas,
okay, this guy.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh no,
this is why TJ's right about Ben
stage.
Shapiro being the people that the dumbs can look to pick apart easily fucking defeated arguments. This guy's a retard. Okay?
Like, nothing bad's going on. I mean, come on.
This is just the stupidest angle to take. You're flustered. You got a fucking cheering audience behind you, booing you and fucking jeering at you and shit, and you don't know what you're talking about. This is not hard. How about, can you explain to me what the analog is between a coma patient and a child? I'll wait.
An unwanted child may or may not be a burden to people.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah, this
You're
guy,
so wrong.
he just sucks.
Boo.
See, the left is chock full of these kind of useful idiots.
Gotta kill him.
For people like Ben Shapiro, because they just lob these fucking obvious poisoned softballs up on the stage, and Ben Shapiro's able to turn it into fireworks in front of this audience.
Of course.
Because he's got one more brain cell to rub together than this dipshit.
He's heard this argument a million times.
Unwanted, right? We're a bunch of college students. The problem is that now you're shifting the argument, right? Before you were making the argument based on the intrinsic value of a life based on sentience, and now you're talking about the level of burden that somebody presents as a separate moral argument. Okay, I don't believe that you being a burden on somebody is justification for them killing you, as a general rule.
Right, but you don't want to do anything to alleviate that burden either. You don't want to have any hand in the burden on society that's created when children that are born to people that are drug addicts are not wanted or not in any position psychologically or economically to raise a child.
The morally right thing to do is let you be born and have that life of... look, Paul, it might be a life of suffering, but maybe eventually you can escape that.
I'd be willing to go along with this, dude, if he was willing to do cradle to the grave fucking UBI and free healthcare and free fucking education for everybody, then sure, fucking outlaw abortion. Because at that point, you're being born into a society where you're guaranteed a baseline right to pursue something like a good life
Maybe
for
that
yourself.
maybe that could be the fucking how we bridge the gap between the
There you
conservatives
go.
and liberals. Look, all right, you guys are real passionate about abortion. Well, abortion is outlawed. It's gone forever. Every fucking child that is conceived must be carried to term, but literally it has to be cradle to the grave nanny state then.
Right, and no woman can be forced to raise a child that she doesn't want, so we've got to come up with a bunch of really great orphanages that are going to place these children with families, or in the absence of that, be analog families to these children, not abusive, neglectful environments, but enriching environments, and we get those kids in front of the right educational materials, we play to their aptitudes. Yeah, I'm willing to outlaw abortion.
There's going to be born.
Nah. I like kids that have parents that hate them from the fucking moment they draw their first breath, being born every day.
I just don't want you dead.
Yep.
I
like
just
abused
don't like
children.
it when babies die. Yeah, I don't mind when children are abused or starving or destitute, but I just don't like it when we kill babies. Fuck you.
And I thought the libs were going to get owned in this episode.
Not only that, though, not only are we not allowed to kill babies that are in bellies, but just the philosophical or whatever it is decision that you might make to have no children is a bad thing.
Oh, really?
Everyone needs to breed.
Now, speaking of substantive issues, I want to talk about a substantive issue that very few people are going to talk about today, and that is the New York Times has a long piece about childless women and men. This is a substantive issue because there are just too many people in American society who are not having children. I know.
A little.
Unpopular viewpoint with the left. This is a true thing I'm going to say that is going to trigger the Lebs by virtue of it being true.
Look, anyone that's around small
what a great precursor there.
Anyone that's around small children would call the childless adults, women and men, smart people.
Why do you have to couch all your arguments like a fucking bullshit artist, Ben? Why do you have to start your argument with anybody who's upset or disagrees with this argument is immediately wrong because it's the truth?
How many kids does Ben Shapiro have? Does he have some?
I don't know. I think so.
He does?
Ugh.
Okay. I really hope he does with the shit he's saying, because if he doesn't, that's just fucking even more.
I'm pretty sure having enough children to support our giant social welfare state. We're also not having enough children just generally because we're replacing ourselves at barely replacement rates.
We're having too many children because there's children living in orphanages and being born to people that can't take care of them, you dumb fuck.
Is dying, Europe is falling apart. The reason Europe is reliant on mass immigration from the Middle East is because they don't have enough people to actually...
They're not reliant.
That old chestnut.
What? Europe is reliant on mass immigration? Those people are fleeing war and poverty, right? Are you saying that Europe is looking to be a haven for all of these fucking people? Is that the contention?
I mean, at least in the case of like Germany, you could say that's true because they needed a cheap labor force. But of course, America does that too. We immigrate a bunch of South American and Mexican people as a cheap labor force.
Yeah, and continuously do so. By the way.
Yeah, it's because there's just certain jobs that Americans won't do for those low wages.
Then?
So
is he against these capitalistic entities making the most out of their product by cutting labor costs?
Of course,
by using immigrant labor. Why? Yeah. Why would he be against that? Isn't he a capitalist?
He's a social conservative when he needs to be.
How about outsourcing, shipping all your shit overseas and have it made in China and Southeast Asia?
Oh, conservatives love that, don't they? Maximizing profit margins.
I mean, under a capitalist system, that's the thing that makes the most sense. That's why it's not made here. It's too expensive to make it here. It's much cheaper to make it there.
Some of that should be restricted. No.
Do the jobs. The United States...
It's hard to know what he'd think on that because he's very selectively libertarian. I think that it kind of goes like this. When he doesn't know what social position to take, he just defaults on a libertarian stance.
Right.
But if there's a social issue that's a real hot button for the conservative base, then he's on that side.
He just
despite whatever the libertarian economic concerns might be.
He just looks which way the wind is blowing.
Right. When it comes to the social issues, he's on all the hardline conservative social issues. But when there's in the absence of that, then he frames himself as like, I'm essentially a libertarian. I'm like Ron Paul, kinda. It's like, no.
But then why would he want the government to force anyone to have kids or even give a shit about that? Like, wouldn't he be like totally?
He's not a libertarian.
Because he's not a real libertarian. He's a social.
I mean, clearly not. But I mean, just to even suggest it's like more children. It's like, so you're not only going to go after people that fucking have abortions, but it's like I just don't want kids. And I'm taking
compound the problem by spreading the meme that everybody should be having children that they can't take care of.
Same trap. Why? Because people have found meaning. Not in what does the future hold and building a better future, but in this sort of self-obsession. How can I live a more satisfying personal life? So the New York
What's
Times
wrong with that?
Stunning article about a bunch of old people who don't have kids. Now you might think that that's sad. A bunch of old people who don't have kids. They don't have kids to visit them. They don't have grandkids to visit them.
Yeah, they don't care.
And in fact,
they're happy. That was their decision.
There's a picture leading this piece of 4 old people sitting on a bench looking out
how
into the ocean.
easy it would be
Hold on. I love what he says about this picture.
Right, which is really depressing just in its sort of context.
Why?
Do you look at that picture? Does that picture look the least bit depressing
It
to
looks
you?
like they've enjoyed their lives.
Two old couples sitting on the beach enjoying the fucking sun.
You know how easy it'd be for these motherfuckers sitting here on this bench to go morally aggrandize him and fucking say, you know what, you should have had no kids, Ben. Because you know what, look at all the things that overpopulation has contributed to on this planet. Look at all these problems that we're experiencing, how much humans are taking from the environment.
What really scares me is if this is depressing in Ben Shapiro's world, what the fuck is joyful? What the fuck is cute?
Yeah, no regrets.
And wholesome in your world if that's not what this is.
They all seem to be healthy and they're fucking looking out on the ocean. What's wrong? What's gone wrong in their lives?
Pretty view.
They've had at least some normal, decent American
Afghani
lives.
civilians being blown to pieces. That's joyful.
Fuck them.
Who
cares about them?
Joyful in
Civilian casualties are great.
You put a child in that photo and suddenly it's charming, but without a child, it just looks like a bunch of old people that are soon going to turn into tombstones.
What a weird fucker, dude.
It's charming then.
What a bizarre mind.
Not to mention, these old people. Hey Ben, these old people wouldn't have children by that point in their lives. They'd be grown up, so it'd be other adults. So how about young adults would be in the picture?
Yeah, they'd have like a little 4-year-old scamping around when they're clearly in their 80s. Yeah,
That makes perfect
whatever,
fucking
you dumb fuck.
Then it'd be charming. Oh, but they'd be grandkids, Paul. It'd be charming. Oh, a bunch of grandkids. How charming it would be.
I mean, it wouldn't detract from the picture, but it doesn't
But how
necessarily
about-
add anything either.
But how about it's their fucking life? If they don't want to have fucking kids, they shouldn't have to. Just like if someone does want to have kids, how the fuck is it your fucking fault or your business? Oh, Paul, you know what? Get on it, Paul. Get in vitro. Do whatever it takes. You and Ashley tomorrow. Just start.
Stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, why would you want to be in other aren't libertarians about getting your fucking business, getting your nose out of other people's business and shit?
Not this one.
I've literally heard libertarians argue like, okay, let's say you want to build a road and you get everyone, but there's one guy that doesn't want to build the road. It's like, well, it has to either be built around him. So like when it comes to roads, it's like, look, even with the road that everyone needs to get places, we have to take every individual's fucking opinion into consideration.
Not in this case, though.
No, in this case, fuck
these
these
people
old
have
fucks.
to be secretly depressed about their choice not to raise children.
Essentially what it looks like. And here's what the article says. The vast majority of American women have children, yet fewer women are deciding to become mothers. The fertility rate is at a record low. When we asked people who don't plan to have children about the reasons for an article in the Upshot, the top answers were the desire for more leisure time, the need to find a partner, and the inability to afford childcare. Many women said motherhood had become more of a choice, and they were choosing to forego it, whether for personal or economic reasons.
Okay.
In response to that article and related one about a woman who is happily child-free, we heard from many older childless women and some older childless men reflecting on their lives without children. Many celebrated their decision. Some wondered what might have been. Others said they had moved from feeling heartbroken to feeling grateful. Okay, now, let's just face a basic fact about humanity. Okay, basic fact about humanity. You will always justify the decisions you made. It's very rare.
Maybe you will.
you are a good example.
Anytime you've made a decision, you justify it.
To find human beings who look at the decisions they've made in their life and said, you know what, really botched that one. That was a mistake.
Yeah,
They're not saying that, Ben.
No human being has ever admitted to a mistake in their life.
No, they've all just rationalized it. That's what they've done. They've just looked at,
That might be how you
Whoops.
approach shit, Ben. But
exactly. This is heavy projection here because that's what Ben does.
Oh,
That's how
they're
he
all-
lives his life. He couldn't possibly be wrong.
Paul, all these old people are secretly super upset about this decision. They just can't believe they didn't have
Yeah,
kids.
they're secretly upset.
Yeah.
So here's a conservative talking about how we can't trust the words that come out of somebody's mouth and how he knows better what comes out of their mouth than what they do.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a fact. The fact is, these old people, whatever they might say, are upset they didn't have kids.
Yep.
I know that for a fact.
Yep.
Because I, Ben Shapiro, have the astute observer of humanity that I am, know this to be the truth.
With my shitty Swiss cheese, ancient fucking history conservative argumentation dressed up with 50-cent college boy words. Dumb motherfucker,
Now, I
man.
think the first step toward becoming a better human being is saying, I made a mistake, and maybe I can do better. But people have
Why
real
would they
stake
do
in
that,
doubling
though?
down on the stuff that they've already done.
Why? Where is this like this? Like, who are you even talking about at this point? You've just basically you've taken over what these people have said and twisted into this perverse narrative.
This is now
But
an episode.
They're all woefully looking at things and going, "I really deeply regret this decision." No one said that.
This talk that he's giving is now an episode of Psychonauts or some shit. It's like he's going inside these old people's heads to tell us why they're lying and why they've rationalized this thing. It's absurd. If somebody was doing it to him, he'd be crying foul immediately.
Rightfully so.
But no, it's okay to do that to this because it fits your stupid little fucking socially conservative narrative.
Let me tell you a fact about something, guys. Let me tell you a fact about human nature, okay? Ben Shapiro might be making this article about how he thinks these old people look depressing.
Right.
But it is a scientific fact that Ben Shapiro, in fact, wants to suck those old dudes' cocks.
Yep.
No, I'm serious. It's a fact.
It's a fact.
It's not even arguable, Sky. Why are you laughing?
No matter what he would say.
No matter what he says or what he claims to be thinking about in this piece, what he really wants is to gargle some old man nuts.
Oh, Ben Shapiro wants, really?
That's all he wants. That's a fact, Scotty.
Yeah, you see why it's dangerous
Scientific
to jump
fact.
into other people's heads and not take them at least at their word?
Ben Shapiro right now is thinking about finger banging one of them old men, dude. sticking his finger right up that old man's ass.
Yeah, that look on his
Maybe
face.
pulling it out with a
imply
little fucking wet turd on the end.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Doing
me.
the ET finger, you know?
I think he wants to be.
Found
I think he
home.
wants to be the middle of a human centipede with those old people, dude.
You think so?
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
There's a gleam in his eye that leads me to believe that what you have said just now, Scotty, is a fact.
It is a fact, dude.
It is a fucking scientific
Indisputable.
goddamn fact, Scotty.
He wants to be the end of the human centipede.
Oh.
though.
He wants to taste the shit after it's been digested
Yeah.
4 times previous, dude.
Yeah, and not even have the pleasure of somebody else having to eat his. He wants to be the bottom bitch on the human centipede.
Yes, he does. In fact, he wants there to be a fucking hamster tunnel that leads from his ass back to the first dude's mouth.
Right. So he has
so
to
that
eat
he
his
can
shitty
re-eat
shit again.
the shit yet again.
Yeah. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's what's in his head right now.
I've deduced as much.
Yep. Whatever he might say.
No, Paul, what the fuck are you talking about? We're not pretty sure about this.
Right. We're
We know.
sure. We're
This is
positive.
a fucking fact.
Yep.
Facts, not feelings,
You're
Paul.
right.
And this
You're
is
right.
a fact.
This is a goddamn motherfucking ironclad 100% indisputable truth.
Okay. I don't disagree.
Yeah,
Oh,
how
God.
could you, Paul? How fucking could you?
Oh God. Oh God.
Dude, I think Ben Shapiro, when he gets older, is going to have a ton of neck fat, dude. I'm just fucking seeing that.
He does look like he's gonna get the turkey neck
like,
pretty
he's,
bad.
like he's going to get that really fat fucking face where it's just going to fucking like...
Not that I want to speak because I don't know what's going on
like,
under here.
like he's going to be a fucking bullfrog shit, dude. I see
Yeah.
it, man. He's already got a fucking fat, wide little fucking head.
Well, there's your Ben Shapiro episode, everybody.
I hope everybody's happy. I feel like I've been kicked in the fucking face over and over and over again. That was horrible. I mean, I'm sure the show was fun, but that was to go through it was horrible. So thank you for that.
It's a fucking harrowing experience, dude.
Oh my God! Can I never see or
I
hear
apologize.
anything?
Everyone has to see this, and the people that voted for this are fucking monsters, dude.
Yeah, you guys
They're
are
terrible
monsters
people.
among men. You must love to see us hurt.
That's all I could think of. All right, peace out.
See you
Good
next time.
night.
Bye.
Guys.